Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Mr. Bet on You. How y'all doing today? I hope you had a great week. I hope you had a great weekend. If you're out there making money, I hope you're making good money tonight. You're making good decisions. You're being safe. Many of you might be watching right now, watching on the replay. You're working and you're not having a great day. We can relate. Hopefully it can get better for you. Maybe you got a beverage in your hand. You're at home. You're watching me on the TV. You're listening. You're chilling. Maybe you're out working. I hope you guys are doing well. A lot to go over tonight. I had, and they were in the chat earlier, so let me go ahead and pull them up. I think I might be able to still read that. I think it was, let me see 1 second. Oh, man, the chat just moves so quick. And that comment, I believe, is right here. Okay. Adrian, I got to give a shout out. So the website we're going to look at today, tonight's topic was brought to you by Adrian W. I believe he's out in California and he's been impacted by this. So tonight, that's came from Adrian. This topic came from Adrian. I want you to hit the thumbs up from man Adrian. Hit the thumbs up for yourself. Hit the dislike button if you're one of the haters, one of the lurkers. I love you. Tonight's going to be fun. Now, we talk about legislation, employees. A lot of people think that we are employees without benefits. There is a company out there. And we're going to do some deep dive a little bit. We're going to go into the website, what they're saying, the sign up process, what it means, and when a similar model comes to other cities, if they decide to go nationwide with something like this, which I don't see why they would, but anything's possible. Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure I got. You guys can hear me, right? Yeah, you guys would have said something if you can. Okay. This is a model that is employee, but it's backed and or partnered with DoorDash. There's a company called, I'm going to pull it up here right now, Fresno Logistics. Now, Fresno Logistics, in a little bit of research I've done, they're obviously a logistics company, but they tipped their toe back in 2022. Or 2020, we'll get into this, and I'll share that. I think it's 2022. It's only been a couple of years, 3 years into the food delivery space, more specifically with DoorDash. So some of you, and I'll get into this in a minute. We're going to break this down. Some of you maybe some of you have worked for this company. Currently work. They're in the Fresno area, so we're talking California right now. But I think this is something that we're going to see pop up in other places. It might even be in other places. I'm just not aware of it. You're not aware of it yet. Let me say out of the chat. That's the topic tonight. I am going to provide the Streamyard link for people to come up one at a time for about a minute or two to give me your perspective after I share this with you on, is this model, this employee-based model, but you're still doing the same work. I'm going to talk about the benefits that they offer. Is it better than what you currently have? That's the question tonight. Put everything aside. After I share with you the numbers, the benefits, what it looks like, the scheduling, we're going to go all over all of that. If you're in California, DoorDash drivers that aren't working with Fresno Logistics are seeing the squeeze of them not seeing enough orders because now this company has come in. So there's always two sides to this, but I want to get you guys' perspective. Let me say hi to the chat. Appreciate the 181 in here. April, Kevin, Juan, Eric, Fresno here. So Eric, you're in Fresno? Kyle, what's up? I think August is the slowest month of the year. Oh, yeah. I mean, for a lot of people. People are still either vacationing or getting ready to go back to school. Families are geared up and focused on different things. People that spend money on the food delivery, maybe they don't for a few weeks because they got to get school supplies. So Kyle brings up a really good point. Jennifer, how you doing? I'm going to put some of you guys' chats up here before we start breaking this company down. New World Marketing, what's up? Jamie, what's up? Eric, what's up? Laura, what's up? Who else we got in the building? Say hi. I'll put you up on the screen. Yes, let me on so I can explain. You know, Eric, I'm going to bring up after I share the information, I'm going to bring up people that want to talk about it. So if you've got some more, but I want to break it down in surface level, a novice going in knowing very little. I want to see what the website says, share my thoughts, and then I'll bring people up. Michael, what's up? Lenora, what's up? Gig Hustle Mike. I see Javon, Jamie, Gig Bell Toes, what's up? I see Alan, is that AMC? AMC, what's up? Chuck, what's up? I wouldn't do it for 20. So Chuck says, I wouldn't do it for $20 an hour. Well, Chuck, let me show you what else is in there. Maybe you know about this already. You are dashing across America, the man all over the globe. After I share more info, let me know if that changes. CMG, what up? Juan, what up? I see Jamie here. Kevin, what's up, man? Michael, the love handles, what's up? He says, what is this? This is like, yeah, like you're like not really into it, right? Okay. You don't want to be an employee because that's what this is. This company, let me pop it up right here before we break it down. Fresno Logistics, you are an employee. I'm going to break down what they say that means. I'm going to answer some questions you might have. This is something I think we're going to see happen with other logistics, courier, technology companies. I think they're going to try to do something like this. And I believe, without knowing everything, and we're going to openly talk about this, DoorDash is obviously involved. And I think that they want to be, especially in a place like California when you got the Prop 22. They just re-voted on that stayed in. They decided it was not unconstitutional, was the language that I heard. So, and people had to vote on that. So I think there's a large amount of people that do gig work that want to be an employee. They want the guarantee. They want the benefits. They want some stipend. They want something, paid time off. Like, we're going to get into this very shortly here, okay? Canada Club, Pit Star, what up, what up? Big Carl, that decline button is going to go bye-bye. Big Carl, you know what? In this case, if you're going to work for these kind of logistic companies that are partnered, I say that loosely because I'm not sure, but we're going to look together and you guys decide for yourself. And I'll learn more, and people will come up, and maybe we'll learn more even from them. That's a fact. I mean, you can't decline. You got to work. You're scheduled. You got like a block. So you got to schedule. You're an employee. You have to take whatever. But you get it. Doesn't matter if there's a tip or not. We'll get into what they say about that as well. Appreciate y'all for being here. Hit the thumbs up. I want to have this be educational, informative, but then also I want to open up our minds to different possibilities, what might be coming, and get your perspective. That's tonight's show. All right. I'm in Mobile, Alabama, and DoorDash is really slow here lately. DoorDash is slow in a lot of places. DoorDash is slow in a lot of places. Let me bring this up before I just go to, All right. Let me see. Let's go there. So let me share that screen. You guys should be able to see that right now. There's not going to be any type of like video or anything I saw, but let me go back in here. Okay. So this is a company called Fresno Logistics. Okay. Who we are. I'm going to read this to you guys, and we're going to go down and we're going to break, Actually, before I do that, let me click on the About Us. Okay. Fresno Logistics was first founded in 2020. So it's been 4 years, and it's grown considerably since it first began. And today delivers all around California's Central Valley. Okay. Now I want you to imagine this is not just California, it comes to your market. I want you to just imagine that. Just play along with me here, okay? I want you to imagine that. This is what it's going to look like. Okay, you can put in your name, email, phone, message, and you can actually send a message to them, okay? I'm not in California, so no need for me to do that, okay? So if we go here, if it says, we got the About Us, it says Meet the Team. Okay, when I clicked on it earlier, there was names, no pictures, which is strange. So the first thing is like, why don't you have pictures of your people here? But you've got a president, transportation, you got dispatchers, only 4 dispatchers. So they're not doing tens of thousands of orders a day, guys, right? We know that, right? Okay, so let me go back in. Oh, Lord. I don't want to do that. How do I go back to where I was? Hold on one sec. Oh, here it is, the company. Okay. So, oh, no. Oh, my God. Why did the screen just like, oh, my God. I hate computers. I hate computers. They can suck my balls. Where's the screen I was at before? I don't need to see that. Maybe we'll go back. Let's hit the back button. Is that it? There we go. All right. Maybe that'll work. Let's see. There we go. Who we are. Are we still good? Can you see that? We can see that. All right. Chat, talk amongst yourselves. Give me comments as I read. Fresno Logistics is the first local commerce service provider in California. Local commerce service provider. We provide the opportunity to individuals, that's you, who love gig work. That could be you or maybe not. the ability to become W-2 employees. Let me put my face up. This is a W-2, but you're doing the same thing that the rest of us do. But let's talk about why they do this. Let's talk about the pay. Let's break it down. Our services. Fresno Logistics provides high-quality last-mile delivery services to restaurants. Okay, so they partner with the restaurants. Easy, we get that. A lot of places do that. Grocery and convenience stores. So you're going to be doing some shopping, right? And a variety of other businesses in the Fresno area. So there could be some merchants and things where you're picking up some cakes and pies and maybe even some grocery retail, flowers, things like that. And through, okay, this is a catch here, and a variety of other businesses in the Fresno area through the DoorDash platform. So when it says that lingo, it makes me seem to believe Fresno Logistics is in bed with DoorDash. We'll get to more of that in a minute. Reliable and easy. Look at that burger. That burger looks fire. That pizza looks good. Well, we got a little ramen dish there. Ooh, yeah. Do you love gig work? This is a question for y'all. Do you love gig work? Put a yes or no in the chat. But want a reliable paycheck and the ability to have a set schedule? Question mark. Consider joining the team. Now, we're going to dig a little deeper here. Oh, fuck. I forgot to put that in there. Hold on. Damn it. I hate computers. Okay. I just read this. This is what I just read. Who we are, our services, reliable and easy. They're asking you basically, do you want a set schedule? Do you love gig work? Come work for Fresno Logistics, right? So let me read a couple of chat. Yes, no, yes. Can't afford pizza. Yes and no. I want no tip orders. There's something fishy about Fresno Logistics. Ooh. So Juan says there's something fishy. Deborah says no set schedule. Okay. Let's break down this a little bit more. Okay. What do they say? Because there's an FAQ and everything here. Job description. Let me go over this with you guys. The reason I'm doing this, okay, is I want you to know that this could be the future for some of us in some markets. And DoorDash and Uber, I think this is what they want. They want to be able to control their labor even better. They want to make sure that things are getting delivered at a higher frequency. And this is a way to do that. Now, and this isn't Cali, and they got the Prop 22, so they got to pay drivers anyway, right? But if they go in bed with Fresno Logistics, they might situationally not have to pay as much. All right, let me break this job description down. And you guys in the chat, tell me. And don't forget, I'm going to put the Streamyard link. Everybody's going to come up one-on-one for a couple of minutes to tell me what you think about after I share this. We are looking for motivated individuals who are enthusiastic about serving customers and thrive in fast-paced environments. Now, I want you guys to remember everything that's going to be here is going to be very HR written. You know, it's going to be very sweet and it's going to sound great. About Fresno Logistics. Fresno provides a high quality. Okay, we already did that about the team. Our team at Fresno Logistics is looking for self-motivated delivery associates. Delivery associates, not drivers, who are enthusiastic about serving customers with high quality while working in the fast and growing on-demand delivery industry. Is it really fast and growing? I think overall that's still pretty much true. But it's not growing at the rate that it was when these guys started this company in 2020. Associates will safely complete food and convenience item deliveries and other tasks to ensure customers are receiving their DoorDash orders. Can you guys see that? It says DoorDash orders. So this company, let me put my face up back one more time. They're not talking about Uber and Instacart and Grubhub or any of the other ones, Spark. DoorDash. This is DoorDash and Fresno Logistics working together. This is you as a Dasher not becoming a Dasher anymore. I'll get to that in a minute. You're working for Fresno Logistics, but you're facilitating DoorDash orders. But let's talk about the money. Okay, let me bring this back up. Let's talk about the money and the benefits. I want you to be open-minded and tell me, is this good or bad? And then I'll give my spin on it. Benefits. Great pay. Total comp potential of 22 to 26. That's potential. 22 to 26, inclusive of 16 hourly wage. Okay, so what that means is the range is 22 to 26, but they're giving you a guarantee of 16 hourly wage. Plus the tips and the mileage is going to get you to 22 to 26. So if you're somebody not making 22 to 26, right, this is going to be good for you, right? If you're somebody making more than that, maybe it's bad. Let's talk about the schedule. Flexible schedules, Monday through Friday. Shift options. So during the week, the shift options are 11 a.m., 11:30 to 8. A lot of you guys work that already, right? So you're working lunch, afternoon, dinner. Or you can do a lunch shift, 11:30 to 4, or just dinner, 4 to 8. So there's 3 different options during the week. Those seem very reasonable. You got 4-hour block, and then you basically have a what we'll call it a 8.5 hour block. Part-time and full-time opportunities available. Okay. Benefits, medical, dental, and health insurance. Not sure what that means, but that's some benefits. Discounts provided on Dash Pass. So obviously, fuel, car maintenance, healthcare, everything that Dashers get already, you also get with them. Paid time off, approximately, which is, okay, I got to use that word, 6 to 7 days per year for full-time employees. So if you're full-time, let me put my face up real quick. If you're full-time, you're going to get a week off. Paid vacation, a week. Page will refund. Okay, I see some mixed results in the chat. You guys keep talking. Let me pull this back up. I'm just giving you what this company's saying. I'm not telling you my opinion yet. I'm just reading. Paid time off, you get a week paid time off, approximately, for full-timers. Paid training. Okay, I guess there's some kind of training you have to do. You're an employee. They got to pay. You got to clock in. You're getting paid $16 an hour. I'd probably watch some videos or take a course. Career progression. What does that mean? Career progression as a delivery driver? Ability to advance your career and take on a leadership role. Okay, so maybe you could be one of the 10 people that are in leadership roles. Qualifications and skills. Okay, this is funny, but let's read it. No prior delivery driving experience required. Same with DoorDash. You're able to operate the DoorDash apps. Yep. You have a valid driver's license. You have access to your own insured personal vehicle that you can use for delivery. You are at least 19 years of age and at least 2 years of driving. You are able to pass criminal background. You can pass. This is in compliance with federal law. This is everything that DoorDash does, basically. I don't see anything really different there. Do you want to join the team? Apply now. Let's look at this FAQ. This is some interesting stuff. I'm almost ready to give you guys a StreamYard link. Bear with me. I'm breaking this down for you, okay? Because these kind of companies are going to pop up in other places. What is the work schedule like? Let's click on that. Fresno Logistics operates with DoorDash Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 8 with multiple shift options available. So no weekends. That's it. Isn't that a plus for some of you guys? Fresno Logistics offers flexible schedules with 3 different shifts each weekday. We talked about that. Currently offering blah, blah, blah. Okay. How much will I get paid? Your base pay will be $16 per hour plus 100% of the customer tips you receive, plus 35 cents per mile reimbursement. Let me break that down. Let me put my face up. They're going to give you 35 cents per mile reimbursement for every mile that you drive because you're an employee. That's great. You're getting your tips. Now, I don't know if that interface, it says you have to work the DoorDash. You have to be able to work the DoorDash app. So I imagine the interface, what you're looking like, is exactly like what if you're not working for Fresno and if you're just a dasher. So if you get a tip, you get a tip. If you don't, you don't. I'm not sure if the pay information is there. Probably not. I'm guessing it's a surprise at the end if there's a tip or not. I don't know if there's tip pool. They don't reference that. I think it's just like you see the merchant, you see the mileage, you don't see the pay. You're getting 16 per hour, but they're going to send you things to keep you active. I don't know if the 16 is active hour or if it's just, hey, if there's nothing out there and you're sitting there, you still get paid. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody has an answer for that. I'm sure you got to be active, I would imagine. So they're telling you you're going to make 22 to 26 per hour, but you got to take everything they send you. So that means if there's a 20-mile trip, it's going to take you an hour. You're going to make that $16 and you're going to get 30 whatever cents times 20 miles. So what is that, $6? So you're gonna get your 16, you're gonna get your 6, and then maybe there's a tip. But you just worked an hour. Let's break it down a little bit more. What else are they saying about that? What do y'all think about that? You're getting paid. I mean, these are similar to the Prop 22 because they also get paid for active time and they get the Prop 22 money. How often will I get paid? You will be paid weekly on Fridays. Your earnings each week will be paid out the following Friday. Okay, well, you can't cash out every day. That kind of sucks for some of us. Where is a work location for this? Fresno and close surrounding areas. Oh, wow. So you might start in Fresno. You might end up somewhere else. Will I use my car phone to make deliveries? Yes, you will drive your own car and use your phone to make deliveries. You will be reimbursed 35 cents per mile and $10 per month towards your phone bill. Oh, they're going to give you $10. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Can I still work on demand as a dasher while employed at Fresno? So if you're an employee of Fresno Logistics, can you still work for DoorDash? You will not be able to continue working as an independent contractor at DoorDash if you accept this opportunity. But outside of your scheduled work hours, you are able to work with other gig apps if you choose to do so. So you cannot be a regular Dasher, but you can work for Uber and Grubhub and all the other ones off your schedule. But you can't work as a Dasher, traditional Dasher that we have right now, and also an employee. What do y'all think about this? Let me pause. What's the good? What's the bad? I'm going to give you my perspective, and I'll share the Streamyard link in just a moment. We're going to see this pop up. These companies want to get everything delivered. They're already starting to treat us like employees. Fresno Logistics sounds like a third party working with the third party, and then you're an employee of Fresno Logistics. But obviously, you're still working under the DoorDash umbrella. You're not delivering Uber Eats and all the other ones. You're working for DoorDash still. All right, Deborah says, sucks. Let me put some comments up real quick before I give you my opinion on it. Go work for them on the cover film and show how it works. Just kidding. Nah, can't do that. April says, no. Just your mom's account. Sounds like the best deal ever, says Jim. Hell awaits DoorDash. Jen says, hey, what's up, Jen? It sounds very one-sided in their favor. There's absolutely no benefit for the drivers. What are you talking about, Andre? More companies might pop up like this, but they will go out of business. The benefit is you get benefits. You get benefits, dental, medical, insurance. You get benefits. You get paid per mile. That helps your decision making. You're getting $10 a month for your phone bill, and you're getting guaranteed pay. You're getting guaranteed pay that's higher than most of the earned by time. Now, this is Cali, but I want you to imagine this is in your city, and everything's the same. And in some cities, because the cost of living is different, your guaranteed pay might not be 16 plus tips. It might be 13. In many places, it's going to be 12. So then they're going to tell you you're going to make between $18 and $22 an hour versus 22 and 26. You guys following? Sounds great to me. Okay, says Patrick. Let me see what else we got. That stinky fish is growing and starting to stale, says Juan. Fresno is trash, says Canada. Howdy, says Marty. What up? DoorDash rebranding. Ooh, Jeff with the comment of the night so far. Ooh, testing it out in a place where there's Prop 22. Could be. Texas, what's up? Nomadic, what up? Is Slavic here? Slavic, what up? What's Slavic saying? It seems DoorDash opened sister company for Fresno for testing and protecting the main company from failures in law. Slavic, you took the words out of my mouth. Let me go ahead and give you my perspective on this so far, and then I want to open the Streamyard link up, but I want to hear from you guys. What up, Papi Chulo? Hector, what up, bro? How you doing, son? All right, listen. I think I want to have a balanced approach here. Okay, so first I'll talk about the state of most gig workers, regardless of the app that you work. Most gig workers are struggling. There's 256 of you. 80% of you have struggled or are struggling at some point or struggling now to make money, to see opportunity, whether it's saturation levels, not enough orders, tier systems, programs. Drivers are struggling. Let's not sugarcoat it. Some are doing great. A lot of drivers are struggling. A vast majority are struggling and probably don't like it. And that's why you've either stopped doing DoorDash, will never do it again, do it very little. So this is just with DoorDash, though, right? In your mind, you can imagine it's also with Uber and the other apps that you work, and maybe it's something similar, right? Because we're still just delivering food. But if we're struggling, do you think a large percentage of drivers would like a guarantee? Think about the earn by time, the tier program. Most DoorDash drivers, guys, not like you and I, okay? But most, and even some of y'all, and even me when I was doing DoorDash, had a high AR, saw some progress and certain benefits to the tier program. And if you don't think there's benefits, then maybe that's true in your market. But there's people in this chat, and I know because they've said, I'm seeing some benefits of this tier program. I say that because DoorDash already has the acceptance rate of the average Dasher has never been higher. Never. And depending on your market, you're going to see pros and cons with that. Some people that have a high R probably aren't making as much money as they think and driving a car into the ground. But this company, you're going to get some kind of benefit with the mileage, right? So if something isn't working for you and a company comes along and says, hey, you want benefits? You want miles, you want some dollars per miles, you want $10 a month for your phone, which isn't a lot, but it's still $10. It's basically a free order. You're getting paid to do nothing, right? You want a guarantee? You want benefits? You want a week off paid? Think about that for a second. So think about that. If you average $1,000 a week, you can take 6 or 7 days. They're going to pay you $1,000 and you don't have to work. You don't have that right now. So those are some of the pros. The cons, like Slavic said, this is a way for DoorDash to hide behind another company, to test out the employee model, test out the interest from the drivers, test out schematically, logistically, right? This is a logistic company. How are the deliveries? Are they on time more often? Are the customer experience better? Is the merchant experience better? As more people and drivers go to be an employee for Fresno Logistics, they can look at those numbers, compare it to the Dashers that are doing DoorDash in that area and surrounding areas and similar markets across the country. DoorDash now can compare that data and say, ooh, customers are more satisfied, getting food quicker, Dashers seem more happy, we're spending less money or about the same, but customer experience is better, merchant experience is better, drivers are happy. And now we can tell the government, we can tell this, we can tell shareholders, hey, our drivers are making up to $26 an hour and they've got benefits. We don't need no Prop 22. Look what we got going on over here. We don't need what's going on in Massachusetts, New York City, Seattle. No. Let's just pawn it off to Fresno Logistics, Pedro Logistics, Slavic Logistics, Papi Chulo Logistics, all these companies now that want to do our business for us, and they'll just be under the DoorDash umbrella. That's negative for some of us, maybe. What do you guys think about this? If a company in your market tomorrow sent you an email, we know that you're a Dasher. We see that you work DoorDash. Would you like to come work for us? And these are the benefits. $22 to $26 per hour. A week paid off if you're full-time. Got to have a schedule, though. That's the one thing I think that might stop some of us. I think we're going to get some rebuttals about the schedule. Because now you got to work that 8-hour shift or whatever it is. Lunch, mid-afternoon, dinner, boom, and then you're done. There's no late night. So you can't work DoorDash late night, but you can do Uber Eats and other apps if you want to work 12 hours a day. Or you do a lunch shift or just dinner, 4 to 8 or 11:30 to 4. So if you do the lunch or just dinner a few times a week, that's part-time. If you want to do full-time, it's only Monday through Friday. So also you're not going to be able to do DoorDash during the weekend, but you can do Instacart and Grubhub and Uber. So I think situationally, for a large amount of drivers, this could be positive short-term. In California, my man Adrian shared this with me. He's not seeing opportunities. And he feels the reason is this company now has employees taking the trash out, but also there's got to be good orders mixed in as well. So now those offers that were going to hit his phone that might have hit it last month or last year or whatever, as his company's growing, they're not hitting his phone. They're hitting the employee phones. But does that mean that there's less orders? No, it's still DoorDash, still the same operating system. But how is DoorDash deciding who gets to order? Fresno Logistic employees or Dashers in that area? I don't know. I have no idea. All right. I'm going to go ahead and open this up to you guys to get your opinion. This is what we're going to do tonight. We got to stay on topic. If you got something else, this live isn't for you. Maybe we'll do it at the end. Okay. I don't know how long we'll be live tonight. If this is my question to you that I want you to answer to us in 2 minutes or less. We're going to go one person at a time. Hopefully we get a couple people that want to come up. I don't know. We'll see. 2 minutes or less. And I want to listen. The viewers will listen. And maybe I'll have a follow-up question. I want you to formulate and tell me, this comes into your market. Would you do this? Would you? I don't want to dash. You can't dash anymore. But you're going to be an employee on a schedule, part-time, full-time, get benefits, and all the things that they say. Would you try it? And maybe it doesn't work. Maybe you can go back to doing it. I don't know. What are the pros and cons? And also, if somebody is in Fresno and has done this, definitely come up. I'll give you more than 2 minutes. All right. So let me go ahead and share this with you guys real quick. Appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for still rocking with me during all these crazy times. All right, so let me copy that. Let me go there. Let me go there. What is it? Control V. There we go. Ceci says, I've had a DoorDash on, but I ain't got nothing. It's crazy, right? All right, so let me go ahead and pin that link for you guys real quick. Just give me a second. I'll pin it. All right. And then you got 2 minutes. Tell me if you would do this. What are the pros? What are the cons? Would you try this out? That's what I want to know. Okay. That's what I want to know. I want the community to hear your perspective on that. Oh, man. Let me see. Let me find it. There we go. Hit that thumbs up. How many thumbs up we got? Omar, appreciate the $4.99, son. This will eliminate all non-registered, illegal, stolen accounts. Spark. Well, if you got to be a W-2, yeah, but this isn't on Spark. It's on DoorDash. But if you're, that's a good. If Spark did this, it'd be a complete game changer in different ways, right? Omar, appreciate that $4.99, man. All right, let me go ahead and pin this for you guys real quick. Give me a second. So we step up. There we go. Okay, so now it should be up at the top. You guys can come in. I'll go over again what we're going to do real quick and how we're going to break this down. Every guest is going to come up. It's going to be on screen with me by themselves. And then you're going to get 2 minutes to tell me. Oh, shit. Hold up. Oh, man. Did I just? Hold on. There we go. Oh, I got you right here. There you go, Omar. All right. So let me go ahead and get back in there. Getting right into there. Okay. So I see my man Gig Bell Tolls. I'll bring you up in just a minute, my friend. Let's let a few people pop in. We'll see if anyone wants to share some perspective. I see AMC lurking in the background. DoorDash Rick, what up? Love Animal says, nah, migrants will use this company and Dash at the same time. I mean, listen, there's a way around everything. So who knows what people would do. I don't want to get into that necessarily, but I want to stay on topic with this company. And would you do it? Why or why not? Okay. The issue is so many people are here, do not tip. Well, true. We would have crazy mileage for $20 an hour or less. Yeah, but if you're not tipping, you're getting the guarantee. You're getting $16 an hour plus your tips and the mileage. So that might help certain markets if the tips are low, right? If the tips are low. Now, some would say DoorDash might funnel along with Fresno Logistics would help. They might funnel all the trash. Like some of them get EBT, all the trash goes to EBT. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it's a lot of factors. But like I said earlier, I propose, well, what order goes where? Because it's just DoorDash. This company is just talking about DoorDash and the DoorDash orders and telling you as a potential employee, as a potential driver for that company, you got to be able to use the DoorDash app, the DoorDash GPS. So the screen is going to be the same. Now, there might be some kind of Fresno logistic logo or something you got to get into first before you get the orders, but I'm sure the screen itself is going to be the same. So are they just going to send the trash? Are they going to send the long mileage? Are they going to send $4 for 20 miles? Is that what you're going to be doing as an employee? All right. So I see Gig Bells, AMC, my man Kevin, been a minute. What's up, brother? How you doing? I see Eric and I see Slavic. All right. So I'm going to bring you guys up at one at a time. Billy, appreciate that $1.99. No way, Jose. Appreciate that. All right, all right. Let's bring Gig Bell Tolls up first. I gotta put these on though. I'm using the laptop. I'm using the desktop laptop, so I gotta be able to hear you guys. So let me bring Gig Bell Tolls up first. Gig Bell, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Oop, hold up. Let me unmute myself. Hold on one second. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now. All right. So what do you think about this? Give me your perspective. Would you do this in your marketplace? Why or why not?
Well, I mean, it sounds nice, but one thing it cuts out one of my best shifts, that's breakfast time. We here in the Dirty South, we love our biscuits and gravy. And I deliver a lot of those in the morning. Mm-hmm. And, that's a lot of times I'll do better during breakfast than I do lunch. So that's not very good. I said, everything else sounds great. It's the set schedule I have the biggest problem with.
Yeah, I think the set schedule, I think, is the one thing that would deter me from this, right? Because it kind of limits your flexibility. And I think a lot of us do that for that reason. Hey, I don't want to work today. I want to work extra today. I don't want to work Monday.
Exactly.
They're saying full time is basically Monday through Friday. So you're definitely an employee. You got a schedule. You know, you can't just come and go as you please. You're gonna have to take everything, it sounds like. So I think you bring up some valid points. Let me ask you this: what would you tell somebody that's in Fresno or California and they're saying they're not making good money? Would you know, and they work, this schedule might work for them because that's normal for them. Would you say, hey, maybe you should try this? Do you think there's some kind of benefits to some people, or do you think overall it would be a no?
Well, another thing that'd be really hard to recommend is, yes, you get benefits, right? Mm-hmm. Which is great, but what if it's slow? You know, if it's like really slow and you're not getting a lot of orders, you know, how much are they going to take out for your benefits? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You end up
they don't talk about
at all.
We don't know how much those benefits are going to be, how good they are,
or how good they are, for that matter.
Right. And that's a really good point. Yeah, I think the schedule thing is going to be something that would deter most people, because I think turning on and off these apps is so easy and it's very flexible. What do you think about when they say, hey, well, if you work for us, you're an employee, Fresno Logistics, you can't work the DoorDash platform?
Yeah, I don't like that either. That's the great thing about gig work, guys, is that we control what we do. We do what we want to when we want to do it, not what a company tells us to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the most appealing aspect of all this work. And you're kind of taking that away from people, you know?
That's a good point.
Some people will be into that, you know, which is fine. Like I said, but one thing for here, for sure, anything rolls up like that out here, I guarantee it's not going to be $16 an hour. Maybe 13 if we're lucky. You know?
Yeah, I think in St. Louis it'd probably be around that 12 or 13 mark as well, right? That's a good point. Gig Both Close, I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna bring up the next person. Appreciate your insights. Always a pleasure to see you. It's been about a month or so since I've had the Streamyard link. I'm happy you clicked on it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. So good points there. I think the scheduling is going to be something that might be brought up from others. But I think somebody might say, somebody might come up. I'm hoping, well, yeah, I would do it, and maybe tell me why and offer some perspective. Let me bring up AMC real quick. AMC, how you doing, brother? Oh, can you hear me?
No.
Mic check.
Could you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. How you doing, man?
What's up, dude?
So what do you think about this, brother? Give me some perspective.
Yeah, could you hear me, man? Or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. What do I think about this? I mean, it works for somebody. It works for people that got deactivated on a couple apps, probably, you know, and they're strung out. They probably need to get more work because, I mean, at this point, to work one app is pretty difficult, at least on a bike. You know, I do this on an e-bike, bro. I don't know how many of your viewers do this on an e-bike, but I do I've done 12 hours on a bike the whole day, you know. So that's where I'm coming from. But like, for example, here in New York, they got an application called Relay, and it's similar to Grubhub. Grubhub still gives you more flexibility because you could decline, but Relay, you can't really decline orders. They give you a guaranteed pay of about $15, like varying on times, and then they give you all your tips as well. And that works for a couple people, but you have to accept every order, bro. You know, so you're looking at 20. Go ahead.
Is that a W-2 or is it still gig work? That Relay?
No, you're still a 1099. They pay you $15 an hour, and you still have to. I mean, I think you could decline. I think you could drop schedules. I think you could do that. I haven't explored it so much, but from what drivers have told me, you make roughly about like $20 to $25 an hour on a bike, you know, but you don't even know where you're going. You don't get details about the drop off until you accept the order. It's all these restraints compared to the other apps.
Okay. So for you, this would be a no if it comes to where you're at, right?
Well,
or would you try it?
I would definitely. Oh, dude, I would try it. Yeah. I would try it. I mean, but that's the thing, man. Is like, you know, you don't have to do this job for like a year. You know, you could try it out for a month, and if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. You know, they didn't specify anything about gratuities though, if that's included or not.
You talking about Relay or you talking about Fresno?
Fresno
said that you get $16 in base per hour, plus your tips and the 35 cents per mile. So they did talk about tips, and that's where they come to the wage of 22 to 26. So you're including the 16 and everything.
See, if they had an option where I could do it on a bike and I get a little bit of more details about where I'm going and how I'm doing it, and maybe they're a little bit lenient on dropping schedules and considering weather, because weather's a big one, bro, out here, especially on the East Coast. We actually just had a flash thunderstorm that came by and it flooded all of downtown, bro. Like it's flooded. It gets flooded here, man. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, dude, you should try it. Everyone here watching this YouTube, try everything you can. Try a job for a month, try a job for like 2 months, and then drop it and move on to the next thing,
Yeah, I think
try it out.
I think trying things is important, because I think in our mind, AMC, we might think we might not like something, it might not be good, and then you do it for a month and you love it. It's better than what you were doing. And it's like, oh, I'm glad I tried this out. Right.
You know what I say to anybody on two wheels as well? Try picking up a $3 Uber Eats that's going 0.7 miles, and then you'll see a $15 order down the line at dinner time when everybody else is standing in front of restaurants and hugging restaurants. It's all an algorithmic game. I have changed my strategy up so much, and I've noticed I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting deliveries to restaurants where there's drivers standing outside all day, and good deliveries too. It seemed like the order was sitting there for a long time, and that's what it's about. It's about trying different things. It's like, oh, okay, maybe if I do get my AR up a little bit on Uber and I play around with it a little bit, I might see decent orders down the line, and that's what ends up happening, right? So
yeah, I hear that. MC, I appreciate your perspective, man. Stay safe out there. I'm gonna bring up Kevin. I got Eric and Slavic and a few people waiting. But I appreciate you coming up, man. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Have fun on DoorDash, bro, and many blessings to your family, man.
I don't know what's gonna happen yet, but I appreciate that, brother. I really do, man. You know me, I gotta take care of mine at the end of the day.
Fuck yes, you do, man. And you're making YouTube money, everything, bro. Whatever it takes, man. I
gotta take care of mine, and I always will. So I appreciate you, brother. Stay
Take care, man. Take care.
All right. Shout out to AMC representing New York City. All right, I see Kevin waiting, Eric, Slavic. I see Lloyd. Let's bring on man Kevin Mangold, Sergeant at Arms of the Mr.BetonYou channel. What up, Kevin? How you doing, man?
Hey, Pedro. Well, first of all, I can kind of see the benefits of this program.
Talk to me about that. What do you like about it, Kevin? What do you like about it?
Okay, assuming there's going to be enough orders. Let's say you take a shift from, let's say, 11 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Right.
Assuming throughout the whole entire time, there's going to be enough orders to take in the first place. Mm-hmm. They're not guaranteed $20, $21 an hour. That could be a pretty good deal, because I'll tell you one thing right now, the way it stands as of now, there isn't really no guaranteed $21 an hour. You said it yourself. I mean, 1 hour you might make $45. You get those bangers, and then you go 2 hours, and then it's kind of like, nothing. And and the scheduling, I don't know.
What do you think about the scheduling? Yeah. So would that be conducive to what you'd want to work? Let's say Monday through Friday, you're clocking in at 11:30, you're clocking out at 8, and you're going to take the deliveries that are available for you, and you're going to make $25 an hour doing it. Is that good enough for you? No weekends. You don't have to work weekends. And if you want to, you got to work Uber and Instacart, but you can't work. You're not working weekends for DoorDash anymore. You're not working DoorDash mornings, DoorDash dinners. You work at 11:30 to 8. You're making $25 an hour. You get 1 week off a year, $10 a month for your phone bill. Are you doing that?
Yeah, I could try it out, because I'll tell you one thing. I feel like these companies should definitely be paying more in pay, because this deal to where we have to rely on customers for most of our money is ridiculous. I mean, hey, and you know what? This no tip, no trip. Yeah, I think it is kind of dead. And honestly, if an order going 10 miles, hey, if I'm getting like say 25, $30, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. So it sounds like Kevin, you're in Florida, right, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
So Fresno Logistics opens up in January 2025 in Jacksonville, you said, right?
Yeah, Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm gonna tap in with you, and I'm gonna say, Kevin, you sign up yet? Kevin's gonna be a W-2, and he's gonna make $25 an hour, and I think there's some benefits to it, but the scheduling thing I think it's interesting because there's some days, Kevin, I don't know about you, I don't want to work 8 hours on a Tuesday necessarily, right? Like I might want to do other things. I might want to I don't know, right? So for me, it's like, let's say go ahead.
It sounds like from what you said, they kind of have like scheduling blocks, and you can kind of choose kind of what block you want to work throughout the week.
There was three options. Yeah.
So let's say if I could pick one day working, let's say the 11 to 8, and then maybe for Friday, I just want to work like the dinner rush from like
that's a good
for 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. Now if I can do that, yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, I'm gonna let Eric come up here next. I got Eric, Slavic, Lloyd. I got who else I got waiting here? I see Love Handles. So Kevin, it's always a pleasure to see you, man. It's been a little while since I've opened up the Streamyard link. Thank you for clicking it. Thank you for watching. I hope you and yours are doing great in Jacksonville, brother. And I'll see you next time, man. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good one.
Kevin Mango. That's my man. He is a supporter of this channel. Dash and Grandpa, good to see you, man. Great to see Dash and Grandpa on here. Every time I see him, he puts a smile on my face. He's my YouTube grandpa. He's the only YouTube grandpa I have. All right, I see Eric here. I don't know if this the Eric that said that you are from Fresno? I don't know if you've been here. I don't see your face. If you can just flash. Okay, cool. I see you. All right. I'll bring you up. You don't have to show your face. I appreciate you just showing it just for a second there. If you want to show it, you can. I'll give you a minute to make that decision. Give me a thumbs up if you want to show it or not, or a thumbs down if you want to go back to the whatchamacallit. I see you. Thumbs up. All right, I'm gonna bring Eric up. Eric, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. I live in Temecula, so I'm kind of like in the Fresno area.
Cool.
Yeah,
so tell me what you think about this. What do you know about it? What do you think about it? Would you do this yourself? Give the community your perspective on this, Eric.
I pretty much don't agree to that because I have like 4 apps, so I use all 4 apps. So I kind of like what you kind of were doing, but I don't have Instacart, so I pretty much do all the apps the way I think of it is. Like, I don't know if it's worth it because I did work at W-2 back for like 10, 15 years. So I did work a full-time job. And then I started doing this like a year and a half ago. So I kind of don't really agree to that because I don't know if it's true about if they're going to actually pay you that. Because I watch you quite a bit too. I watch a lot of your channel, a lot of your stuff and stuff like that. So like pretty much the way I do take some of the bad orders just because I have the other apps as well. So like I just take it and I go there and then try to get an order back to my hotspot. So it kind of like pretty much evens out evenly because I have like Walmart Spark and that one's pretty high paying now since Walmart up here in California. It's like they give you a lot of good orders. Sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're good and stuff like that.
That's good.
So,
That's good to hear. So for you, it's a no, right?
Yeah, it's a no.
Because you have the other apps and you feel like there's power in having those different opportunities throughout your day and you don't want to just work for just one.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. If it came to where you're at, I think you said you're close to Fresno, right? Your surrounding area, like close by, right?
I'm in Temecula, so I kind of think it's like maybe like 3-4 hours away.
Okay, so not too
I'm not
close.
really sure. Like I don't know if it's in my region because I never heard of this company. It's new to me. Never even heard of it. Like all these other apps, like some of these apps I never heard of either. So it's like all these pop up on here like new. I never even heard of that. When you brought that up, it was like that's interesting.
Well, listen, that's why we're talking about it. Somebody sent this to me. I had never heard of it before. I had never heard anybody talk about it. Obviously, I think it's a smaller, up and coming type company. I don't think they're delivering a lot of stuff, so they don't have a lot of drivers. I mean, it is what it is. They had, I think, 8 employees that they showed as part of their team. So that's a small company, but it's interesting. That's why I wanted to bring it up, right?
Yeah, and there's another. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there's another thing that's happening too. Is they're starting to bring drones involved. Then I don't know if you heard about that. That they're starting to bring like Walmart. They're starting to do Walmart down, I think, in Texas. They're starting to do Walmart deliveries now, and then the carless pizza drivers too. Now they're starting to do those around here too, like in certain areas. I noticed that. I watch other YouTube bloggers too. I don't know if you heard of Bree. Yeah. She's a ride-share one. She does a lot of the apps too. She's in. I think she's in Portland, Oregon. I
think she's in Portland. Yeah, I believe she's over there. Yeah.
Because I think you watch her sometimes too, don't you? Like you kind of.
I've seen some of her videos. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's always talked about that, all these new things and bad things that are happening in certain areas as well.
Yeah, this is an interesting one for me because I think there are a lot of people that would benefit from this, that guarantee and wouldn't mind the benefits and wouldn't mind having a schedule. But I think a lot of us OGs, maybe if we've been doing it a while, a lot of people that probably watch YouTube would be like, nope, I need my freedom and flexibility. I don't want to be a W-2. I want to work all these apps. You know, I like it how it is. Even if we're struggling, most of us still continue to do it. So there has to be some type of value, but it's interesting. And I appreciate your perspective as somebody out in Cali. You're obviously getting that Prop 22, right? Do you like that?
Yeah, I like it because it's from all the apps. I mean, sometimes some apps are good, better than I don't want to say too much because I know it's on YouTube or a lot of the companies are watching it maybe, but a lot of it's like some companies are not paying the correct way, and there's like a lot of stuff going on which I know you heard about a lot of the apps as what's going on as well. I don't want to bring too much up because I don't want to lose my job with the apps.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, Eric, I appreciate you, man. I got my man Slavic, Lloyd, Love Handles, and a few others waiting. Appreciate you tapping in, and have a good rest of the weekend, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.
All right. Appreciate everybody giving us some time. And I wanted to give everybody just their few minutes to share their mind instead of having everybody up on it once. I see we got, let me do this real quick. 1 second. Let me bring this up one more time just before I get to the next guest. We're talking about this company called Fresno Logistics in Fresno, California. And let me go in here real quick. And they're offering basically a W-2 employment where you are facilitating just DoorDash deliveries. You got to be a W-2. You're an employee. You're getting 22 to 26 per hour, inclusive of 16 hourly wage plus tips and mileage. You're getting 35 cents per mile. You got to pick part-time, full-time. The blocks that they have are 11:30 to 8, 11:30 to 4, which is lunch, and then or 4 to 8. You can't work the DoorDash platform aside from this. So you're working this, you're doing DoorDash deliveries and shopping and other things, retail. And if you want to work the weekends or something else, or mornings, or after you get off your schedule from Fresno at 8 and you want to work from 9 to midnight on Uber or Instacart, then you can do that. But you can't work DoorDash. You're giving up your DoorDash 1099 opportunity, but you're flipping it into a W-2. All right. Let me go ahead and get rid of here. Let's bring up Slavic real quick. Slavic just made my whole fucking week. He has no idea. Slavic, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
You know, if I say it, everybody be jealous.
Listen. Give me, you typed in some of your perspective in the chat already about why you think DoorDash would be doing this. Give me your perspective on if you would do this or not when you were doing the gig apps, because I don't know if you're still doing them or not. I don't think
2 years. 2 years, no DoorDash.
2 years free. Okay. So when you were doing DoorDash, let me know, would you do this? Would you try it? Why or why not? And then give me your overall breakdown of what you think this is about. Go ahead.
For over 20 years, I haven't done a job that, what a job means to me is anything that is a W-2. So why go back?
Yeah, I hear you.
That's the question. Now, second thing with my position, I'm actually looking at the drivers. I'm like, how much you guys do not know. Bottom line. We have to give it to you with Pedro on one-on-one, and I want to share actually my story once here on live with people, because a lot of people can relate to what I went through in the last 1 year. But I want to touch something that you guys are not noticing. First of all, if you're signing up with this program, that means you cannot use DoorDash for anything else.
Correct.
Which means they're using the same DoorDash app. DoorDash have not even built a separate app for them with an API option. That means they're converting and just slapping a new name on it, and that's it. Which clearly shows this is a test. This is not a permanent. This is a test. And what they're testing, and I have a suspicion what they're testing, they're actually testing a new approach where gig industry will actually eventually switch over to. Where DoorDash is going to get out of this delivery business, going to say, hey guys, we're offering a sale, and all deliveries, we're selling it off to third parties. So anybody can come in and actually sign a contract with the DoorDash and say, hey, I have 10 drivers.
I could totally see that. I I think we're not there yet, but I'm on par. Continue. But I can see that.
So pretty much you have 10 drivers, you come to DoorDash, you sign a contract, and you take over whatever they send it to you, and you figure out your own pricing and all the headaches. I think DoorDash just ruins so much of reputation. Another thing, why they're testing Monday to Friday, not on weekends.
Yeah.
Because on the weekends, a lot of people open up and still able to do this business. So they don't need extra employees to handle the bad deliveries. But they need these extra hands on the weekdays because nobody's interested in taking these deliveries anymore. So that's another thing why they're testing this. And I think this is a testing ground, like I said, for something that they'll push it up and say, hey, we're out of these deliveries. We're not doing this anymore. But this is a testing ground.
And they can, the liability falls on the employer, Fresno Logistics, right?
Yep. So the next stage will be, if this is a testing ground, in about 6 months to a year, you guys are going to notice where they're going to build a separate app that's specifically for those contractors that are going to bring in and do all this. And then all these employees that were not allowed suddenly will see a new app, and they'll be allowed to go back to DoorDash for a short period of time until they get enough of businesses in those areas to take over the business, and then suddenly everybody else is going to be locked out and suspended out of DoorDash.
Interesting.
And then they'll be forced to go to somebody else.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. So 2.5 years ago when we met, or I think it was probably closer to 3, maybe. No, about 2.5 years ago when you drove through St. Louis, you were doing DoorDash. I was doing DoorDash and Uber, and we were doing our thing, right? I hopped in your Toyota Prius, right? We did a delivery together. It was fun. It was great, right? It was great. It was great meeting you. It was fantastic. At that time, obviously, I think your mindset was similar in a lot of ways, but you were still a gig driver, an active full-time gig driver, right? For the reasons that you had. If this came to your market of, I forget, were you Kentucky, right?
I'm in Kentucky right now.
Okay,
I was
Kentucky,
in the last 2 years.
Right.
After the election, we had. I'm thinking safer going to be in Kentucky.
Yeah. Would you, at $25 an hour, if you were working Monday through Friday, would you have tried it even just for maybe your channel or the experience, or would you have been so against it because you saw what was behind the curtain that they're not showing you? Would you have been still against it, or would you have tried it when you were an active driver?
Now, the area where I'm at right now in Kentucky, that's about a average annual income is under $20,000.
Wow.
$4,300 is what they're offering right now with $25 an hour. Mm-hmm. So that's over $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
Anybody that would reject this would be a fool.
Yeah, especially in that market.
Even though you're locked into time and you have to go back to an employee, and even if I would be 2 years back and still in the position, I would have no choice but to go back. $4,300, I have to pay some taxes, so $3,500 a month. That's a good paycheck.
Yeah, for delivering food for most Americans, you're absolutely on the mark with that 100%. Right? I think we forget about what the average person's making. We sometimes even Slavic, we forget about this work and how easy it is and how anybody can kind of do it, right? And I think sometimes I think situationally myself, I'll just use myself as an example. I've priced myself out sometimes thinking that well, I should be making $50 an hour. No, I mean, $50 an hour to deliver McDonald's is kind of crazy, right? So I think you bring up a good point about the market in Kentucky, and yeah, you'd be kind of silly not to at least try it. Getting that week off that's paid is kind of nice. I think a lot of gig workers that do this full time don't even take a week off. They're just in the everyday grind. They can't even take a day, right? So I think having that kind of benefit's pretty nice for some, right? I appreciate you coming up, man. I got a lot of people waiting. I want you to come up. We got to schedule something where you can come up and kind of just tap in with the community on what Slavic's been got going on. I can give you 30, 40 minutes. I think we got to do that coming up soon. What do you think?
You have my number?
Okay, I do. I'll reach out, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, it might be sometimes hard to catch me, but leave a message if I don't answer.
I'll do that, man. All right. Blessings, man. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, Slavic. Ooh, Nova Hustle's in the house. Nova, bro. This football season is going to be crazy, man. I'm so excited for football, Nova. I am so excited for multiple reasons, and you should be too. I think that Daniels is going to be a beast. Anyways, no football talk. I saw Nova. I got excited. All right. So I see my man Lloyd here. Hold on, let me clean up the studio real quick. Hold on. I want to make sure I got room for other people. I see Trill, Gig Guy, Chris Boy representing the Down Under, Australia. I love handles, and Lloyd is going to be next. Let's bring Lloyd up and see what he says about this topic. Lloyd, how are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, brother? How's it going, man?
I'm blessed, man. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for spending time with us tonight. Lloyd, what do you think about Fresno Logistics being a W-2? Yes or no? Would you do it? Why or why not?
Well, I live in Joplin, Missouri, and, I did a W-2 job for quite a while, 40 hours a week. My friends kept telling me, I had a couple of friends that did DoorDash and told me, man, go over there to Joplin, do this DoorDash, do this DoorDash, do this DoorDash. All right, man, I'll try it out. Loved it. Made great money. Made a lot more than, a lot of times, more than $22, $23 an hour. But once everybody and their brother found out about it, it all changed, because everybody and their brother, it's oversaturated. Everybody's grabbing the orders and this and that. So I'd be willing to try it, I think it would average out to more, doing the math. It would average out to more than what I was making at the time once everybody jumped on board. But the thing with me is I would be thinking, okay, I'll do it. I'll test it out just to know for sure. Okay, you can say, I did, this my way and I did it, no hours. I'd come on when I want, hopped off when I wanted to, and I made good money. I did that way. The other way, like this with logistics, you ain't going to know the truth about it unless you actually do it. You can think you know how it's going to go, but you actually have to test it out and put your feet in the water and try it out. I'd be willing to do that.
It's a great point.
The thing that I'm worried about, that I think that what might happen with it, is they're going to try to start putting all the shit orders on you, Well, he's on, he's pretty much forced to do this, and he can't step away like he can when he's running an app on his own time. So I think they'd start putting a lot of high mileage on you and a lot of add-ons, like you're sitting in Taco Bell waiting forever to get your order, and they see, oh, well, he's pretty much forced to stay here. Let's just go ahead and add this and this and this to him. So
yeah, they could do that. They could do that.
Yeah. And if I started seeing that happening or it started being crazy mouths, I'd drop it. But would I try it out? Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the way it's going here and a lot of busy cities right now, with everybody and their brother jumping on board, and then you're not making the money like you used to, it'd be worth the shot to try it, especially with the benefits and everything. But like I say, if it starts coming into, well, we're going to add this and this to you, go to this restaurant, go pick up this here. No, because you got to do the math on it and see, am I making what I should be making, or are they screwing me and putting me, they know I'm doing a lot more than I should be doing for what I'm getting paid.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Lloyd, because they might look at it like, and I'm sure they would, because a lot of businesses do. You're an employee. You don't have that option to maybe cancel unless it's an emergency or decline. Hey, you're at Taco Bell? Okay, we're going to send you another 2 or 3 runs because we see that you're there. You're going to take them. You're going to do these 4 deliveries. It's going to take you an hour and 20 minutes. You're going to drive 30 miles and you're going to make $40. What, and some people are going to be cool with that. Some might not want to be cool with that. But I think you bring up a good point. I think Lloyd, we can assume, hey, maybe this would be bad. Maybe they send us trash. Maybe this is a long mileage. But we don't know that until you try it, right?
Exactly.
And Lloyd, I think a lot of drivers, I don't know what your thought is on this. I think a lot of drivers are struggling. I mean, the pulse
Oh,
of the
yeah.
community,
Oh, yeah.
when I put a video out, or if I ask a question, or if I see other content creators, or if I go on Facebook or Reddit, like, people are struggling. They're not happy with the opportunities, the saturation, the lower base pay, the less in tips. So I think for a lot of people, this would probably be a bump up in pay, maybe.
Yeah.
And Lloyd, you tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
It might be less stressful, because now it's like, hey, even if I'm in Taco Bell, they might add some, but if they add some, I might get a tip, and it's going to be more because I'm driving more mileage. I'm getting the 35 cents per mile. So it starts to add up. Your money starts to compound.
Right.
So I think if people are struggling, and trying something different is usually a good option, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. I'll add this too, though. I don't want to take up too much of anybody else's time, but I'll tell you from experience, I did DoorDash. I loved it. But once everybody and their brother jumped on board, it changed hands. This is just my experience and my, like, recommendation to everybody. If you're not doing good on them food apps, jump over to the rideshare apps. That's where I started making the real good money at. I was doing DoorDash, making what I thought was good money at the time, looking, damn, my annual was pretty good. And then all my buddies kept telling me, join DoorDash, not DoorDash, join Uber and Lyft, and watch how much it changes, especially in big cities. You go to them big cities, man, to me, it's a lot less stress because you got the people coming out to you. You ain't got to jump up and go find their address in the dark and try to shine a flashlight and shit. They've got to come out to you, and if you've got the light and they see you, man, dude, it's all gravy. As long as you're in a place that Now, I wouldn't suggest it in like St. Louis, especially like East St. Louis. I've been over there at night, dude. I know how it is there, but you get into some of these big cities that the crime's not too bad. That's where the money's to be made at. I've made about 2 or 3 times annual salary doing that than what I have with any food delivery. And I love the food delivery, but it's a mix between night and day, going from people coming to you and them having to find you, and you having to go hunt and find and go through a big, you might have to go through a complex to find somebody just to deliver $7-8 worth of food.
Lloyd, you bring up a really good point, and I've done rideshare. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's how I started my gig life. I did rideshare, and the last person I picked up was probably over a year ago, and I might get back to it because I can. But customers come to you. You don't have to go into an apartment, but it's that's a really good point. It's a whole different ballgame, a different way of earning, a different experience. A McDonald's bag's not going to yell and scream at you, right? A customer might, right? They might have a bad day. They might pick them up from a bar, or puking, or fighting with the girlfriend in the back. Like, those things happen. But I like the point you bring up about they got to come to you. They're coming to you. They're coming to you.
And if you've got a light on, if you get one of them lights, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but if you get one of them lights that you can program, and you program it to your phone, you could put anything you want on there. You just put Uber and Lyft driver, and it glows at night. They're like, oh, damn, there he is, and they come right to you.
I really like that point you made.
It works out really well, but
I like that.
Go ahead.
No,
That's
go
all
ahead,
right.
Go ahead. Finish. Go
No,
ahead.
I was just going to say, I'd be willing to try it. In the situation that I'm going through right now with the the food apps and the deliveries, and it's slowing down because everybody getting on it. Yeah. I mean, $25 an hour, it'd be worth taking a shot, and seeing, hey, man, is this panning out? But you got to start doing the math in your head, like you said, it starts adding up to, well, I'm doing $30, $40 worth of work, and then getting 25, you got to, reconsider whether to go back to the, your own schedule and everything.
That's a good point. Lloyd, hey, we're from the show me state, right? And we, that's a thing here. And I rock with my Missouri brothers and sisters. So I appreciate you coming on, man. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Have a good rest of your week coming up. And blessings to you and yours, man. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate the time, brother.
All right. Thanks, man. Lloyd, representing Missouri, baby. Missouri. We have a thing here, right? We say we're from the show me state. You got to show me. We don't just talk about it. Lloyd, guys like Lloyd and I, we got to show me. You got to show me. All right. So I see Love Handles, Chris. I see Gig Guy, Troy, all waiting. I see you guys in the chat. I see Nicole in here. Always a pleasure seeing you. Thank you so much. I'm happy you tapped in. Eric, Video Gamer, Brett, Leo, John. I see who else is in here. Rideshare Rideshare Road Warrior Rick, another person I've met in person, awesome dude. Deborah, Eric. I see Video Game Brad. I see all Dashing Across America, April. Appreciate you guys very much. Let's bring up Love Handles. See if he's ready. I love that name, by the way. Love Handles. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, Pedro, what up, man? Good to meet you, bro.
Oh, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for spending time with us on a late Sunday night. What do you think about this? Fresno Logistics. I'm not sure how much you've been watching, if you saw the whole breakdown, but what do you think?
Yeah, man, I saw it. So let me start with the cons, and then we'll move into the pros. So my biggest pet peeve doing DoorDash, man, is when I get to a restaurant, the shit ain't ready, and it kills me. You know, I gotta wait, and we don't get paid for waiting time. Yeah. And another one is when you get these high mile orders with the low pay. That sucks. Yeah. And and the other one is like I don't know. Those are basically my two like really bad pet peeves, and this kind of solves both those. The cons, though, man, like you're not going to be able to write off your miles because when you work for a company and they reimburse you, you can't write off your miles, and the government gives you 60 cents a mile. This is what, 30 cents? So
yeah, 35. That's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. So you can't double dip because your employer is already paying you for the mileage. The government's not also going to do that. Really good point you brought up.
Right. So it's a double-edged sword with the miles, right? Like you are going to get paid for taking those long trips extra, but then again, you can't write off your miles. So I feel that's going to be a huge loss when it's tax time, because they're going to do 30% off that money. Yeah. And and then another thing too, where I'm kind of thinking is like, are they going to be honest with the tips? Like, are they going to be stealing your tips? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be able to know? So this is kind of hearsay because it doesn't, we can only kind of guess on that. But those are the kind of things I'll be really concerned. Now, the good thing about this is it's really good to have a W-2 and be able to do the gig work at the same time, right? It's good.
And you could do that with this company. You could be a W-2 for Fresno and still do gig work on the weekends or in the mornings or whatever.
Right. You can do both. Yeah, you could fire up Uber Eats after your shift, and go there. So it is nice to have like a solid W-2, like guaranteed income that you can fall back on when times are slow or like the market gets oversaturated. So I'm kind of thinking that like it's okay. As far as where I'm dashing out in Texas, in San Antonio.
I saw the hat. Yeah, I like it.
And it's pretty good out here, man. It's like the 7th biggest city in the country. It seems to be okay. I do decent. I got to be honest, it's probably around $16 an hour after everything. So if they were to offer me like 20, or 16 out here, I might do it. But in California, hell no, man. It's just not worth it after the taxes and all that stuff. Yeah. It just isn't, man, and it is cool to kind of like be able to sit around and then actually get paid if that's what they're going to be doing. Because that was the third thing. That is my big pet peeve is sitting around waiting for orders and you're not getting paid, So that does solve that. But my biggest thing, man, I said it in the chat, is like, if DoorDash can pay this company, who knows, right? $30 an hour. I don't know what they're going to be getting, right? Why can't they just hook us up with the fatter base pay or something?
Man, listen, man. I was waiting for somebody to say it, right? I mean, DoorDash spends so much money on marketing, on their own bonuses for their executives, the relationships they have with these Fresno Logistics or others. They spend so much money on that, but they'd be taken away from us. The base pay when I started was $3. Now it's down to $2. Right. So, I mean, that's a 50% decrease. I mean, it's crazy. Right. So it's just wild how these big companies, they can get away with that because they're big. But let me ask you this. So I think after expenses, right, you're saying you're pulling in $16 in profit. Is that what you meant? Is that an accurate statement?
Pretty much. Okay.
Sometimes
I do good. Sometimes I could do 20 an hour. You know what I'm saying? It really depends. I got a couple little tricks I use sometimes. Like sometimes I'll just dash for like an hour and a half. And then I'll get like $20 and then I'll turn it off and go somewhere else and turn it. It seems to work for me. So I'm not like, I'm not saying I'm standing by it, but for some reason it seems to be working. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'd say around 16 an hour out here. The dash by time, the earn by time is $13.25. So,
okay.
And I'm always trying to figure out this algorithm, man. I got like a logical brain, and I'm always trying to like, I want to do this thing out so bad.
Don't drive yourself too crazy because I think it's ever-changing, shifting, evolving, very fluid type of thing. I think I think it learns our habits. I think it knows if you're a driver that likes to take $2 and $3 orders. I really believe that. I don't have anything to back it up. That's just my theory. So I think it's tough. You know, I think we fall into areas and times where at least for myself, I thought, oh, I kind of figured this out, and then it changes the next month. You know, but it's fun to kind of think about and try different things, because at the end of the day, as long as we're making money and we're happy with the end result at the end of the week, that's all that really matters. I think we're going to have bumps. The gig economy is like a roller coaster, is how I say it. But as long as we're able to provide, I think that's all we want to do. We want to make a fair living for the time that we're out there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you coming up representing. You said San Antonio, right?
Yes, sir.
Love it, man. Love it. Love handles. I appreciate you coming on, man. Have a great rest of your Sunday night.
All right, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate all the panelists tonight. Really good combo, guys. This is different. You know, this I had never seen Fresno. I never heard of Fresno Logistics. So I got to thank Adrian for sending me that email. I'm going to do more of a deep dive on them. I'm going to reach out to some people and say, hey, can you deep dive this company? Like, they've been around since 2020. What do you know? How many drivers do they have? What kind of business are they doing? What's their revenue? I think more information is better. All right, so I see Chris waiting. We got Gig Guy, True Troy. I see Eric. I see James. I'm gonna get all you guys up here. All right, let's get my man Australia. I'm just gonna call him Mr. Australia. I was gonna give him that nickname, whether he likes it or not. This is what
I'll take it, Mr. Australia. Yeah,
Mr. Australia.
G'day, Pedro. How are you? And I'll throw on the
man?
full fucking Australian accent for once. How's that? I've been Americanizing it quite a bit recently, just so you guys can understand what's going on. But
man. I love it. How are you, man? How's life? Life's good?
Yeah, doing well, man. Loving life. Yeah, it's just going great. We're just coming out of winter here, so starting to warm up a little bit towards spring. So we're out of the cold. It's good times.
Love it. So give me your perspective on this. And I know, you know, your marketplace is obviously very different. Some things have been starting to mirror what we got going on in the States a little bit. But what do you think about Fresno Logistics, guarantee money? Basically, you're a W-2. You can't work for DoorDash. You know, you got to have a schedule. What do you think about this? Give me, you know, would you try it? Give me the pros and cons.
No, I'm going to be blunt with you guys. I know a lot of people have been pretty diplomatic on this, but you could be a fucking idiot to do this. The only reason this works is because of Prop 22 over in California. So this company is skimming the difference. It's minimum wage plus extra 20% is what you're guaranteed under Prop 22. They're offering you a minimum wage here, so they're skimming that 20% difference. That Prop 22 is paying that 35 cents per kilometer, but it's knocking you out of claiming that 67 cents per mile. Sorry, it's a kilometer, but miles. Yeah, skimming, knocking that out from you doing it on tax. So the question you got to ask is, if you're doing this full time, that's about $6,500 difference. So is your not being able to claim the per mileage at 67 cents, and then plus your benefits, is that going to significantly exceed that or not? So it's at the point where, this company is going to get drivers signing up, the dumb and desperate, because they'll queue up for it. They're driving fucking $2 orders. But Prop 22 is picking that up anyway. So it is difficult to do less unless you've got a lot of downtime. So the only, I'd say, benefit here, because you're getting ripped off on pay, flat out. You're getting screwed on pay. Prop 22, they're just skimming from the top.
Because they're in Cali. So like, if this came to Missouri without us having anything like that, there might be there's more of a benefit to try it here. But if you're already getting the Prop 22, why try it?
Exactly.
DoorDash obviously is just saying, hey, hold up. We can save some money here in a marketplace that we might be having some issues in this zone of Fresno or whatever. So right? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they're skimming from the top. And they're offering $16 an hour as your base pay. But if you're getting Prop 22, you'd be on $19.20. So you scale that out across a year, that's over $6,500 straight away. The only way it'd be smart for a driver to do this in California is if they're providing company vehicles for you to drive.
And they're not.
They're not. So you're just screwing yourself. You're running yourself to worse off than you would be just driving on DoorDash only. Plus, as well, losing access to the DoorDash account. Pretty good feel on this one. This is just DoorDash Fleet branded across as a company. So they picked up a fleet contract, and it looks like they've got an Amazon fleet contract as well. And so if you read through the fine print on your contracts with DoorDash, you can hire drivers to work for you. You're responsible for paying them, but you got to pass all them details and sign up stuff, which is the same stuff on that sign up form for the driver thing on Fresno there.
Well,
so
let me ask you a question. Do
Yeah.
you think Fresno
Mhm.
knew that and just said, because they're already a logistic company before?
Oh yeah.
So do you think they just said, you know what, let's take advantage of this opportunity that DoorDash has within their terms, right?
Mhm.
And they're just like, well, let's.
Well, yeah,
let's
exactly.
make-
They know that, and that's exactly how it works, because you can't have a DoorDash account and then also be your details passed through underneath a DoorDash fleet account. You can't have two
Mhm.
accounts running at the same time. So that's why they say you can drive one or the other. You can't do both here if you sign up underneath us on a fleet account.
Yeah.
So
And
that's how it's
there are
working.
other gig transportation or technology companies that have that fleet option.
Yeah,
There's
Uber
some
does it.
catering ones. Uber has it. I'm not sure about if Grubhub does or not, but I know there's other ones that have that, and that's a way for the company just to mitigate some responsibility and their labor and push that onto another company that wants to take some of that responsibility, and that company's in hopes that they can make some money or build up a
They can
company
skim
and
from
then
the
sell
top.
it off to somebody else down the road or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. They're building a logistics company that's skimming from the top to keep it floating right now. That's all this is. And if you look, and I just had a quick deep dive just while you're talking about it before. So the president, he was an Amazon area manager before.
you're
he moved
talking about
across
the
onto
president
this.
from Fresno?
Yes, he was. He
I'm
was
gonna
working at
bring up,
Amazon. He was an area manager. When you start digging through on LinkedIn, if you do your deep dive, Pedro, jump on LinkedIn, start looking at them names and see what starts popping up.
So
And
he's talking about Brian Spencer.
Brian Spencer,
Yeah,
2019, he finished up as an area manager for Amazon, which is why they got that conveniently that Amazon partnership as well to the DoorDash one. So these guys know logistics. They know what they're doing here, and this Prop 22 allowed it to happen. I wouldn't do it personally because unless I had a company car, I did a quick scroll through on Fresno delivery jobs. There's places doing 24, 28, 27, providing company cars. Plus, and you get that hourly, so you're not burning your stuff to the ground or anything like that. You're way better off. Why would you take a minimum, the lowest amount you could be paid while not being able to write off your vehicle and wearing your vehicle down to the ground? It's stupid, but they will get drivers signing up to this, unfortunately.
No, they absolutely will. And I'm glad you're taking this stance and giving this perspective, because the reason I opened this up is I wanted to see what other people had to say, what knowledge was out there. Like, did somebody try this? Did somebody already knew about this company do a deep dive? Because I think on the surface level, right, as we're looking at this, we can point out the positives, right? Because drivers are struggling and this and that. But the more that you dig deep into it, right, then you start to peel back the layers of like, well, is this really good? Like, is this really going to benefit me? Is this better? Is the grass greener on that side? For most, it's probably not going to be.
You're not cherry picking or anything here. Like, you're going to be getting them Dashlink orders. You're going to be getting like them big 17 Dick's Sporting Goods orders where you're doing 17 drop-offs, driving 200 miles or whatever it might be across a day. You'll be getting them. And there's no tips on them kind of things.
No.
So it says like you can get the tips, but when you're in these big batch orders, which I think these guys will be targeting through, do you think you're going to be getting tips? I think it's unlikely. But you would occasionally. It's just they're putting up the right things to get the drivers coming in and signing up to it.
And I think we have to also understand, I think there's the gap between having knowledge and doing some research and people that come into this. The opposite end of that is people coming in on a whim. They need it right now. They lost their job. They don't have the time or the willingness to actually look into the numbers and crunch it and see what opportunity is best for them and do some research, right? And these apps know that, and they know that they can easily get couple hundred drivers in Fresno or whatever to sign up and schedule, and the company's winning, and those drivers situationally might win, but long term you're probably not going to win. So
you're going to be running behind because these companies are skimming the margin. And that's the margin you could get if you didn't do it. So that's my say on it, Pedro.
Yeah.
It will work for some who haven't crunched these numbers and stuff like that. But man, like you'd be better off if you're willing to work full time as a W-2. Just jump on like the job search things. There's way better paying offers there using company vehicles.
Well, especially probably in California, right?
Yeah.
Where a lot of
and
these
you keep your
companies-
DoorDash account too. So
and you can keep your DoorDash account. Yeah, yeah. Chris, always a pleasure, man. Appreciate you, man. I want to say something. I want to plug the channel. I saw you got something going on in Japan or somewhere.
I
What's
do,
going
man.
on?
On my I did a Road to Thailand series where I DoorDash drove
I remember
before
that,
to go to
yeah.
Thailand the other year. Now I've just kicked off my Road to Japan series. So driving on DoorDash to pay for a holiday to Japan in about
Love it.
4 hours. The second video on that series is coming out.
Love it.
But yeah, I'm
Love
just
it.
grinding it out. I'm going to get to Japan. It's going to be a blast. But yeah, come across my channel, guys. Check it out. You want to see what Australians earn? I'll show you.
I love it, man. Chris, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on.
Easy. See you, Pedro.
All right, man. All right. I love we got varying perspectives here, varying levels of deep dives. I think it's good. I think it's actually great to have that, right? Because what we got to remember about gig work is you got to make it work for you. And a lot of us, it's not working for us, right? But for enough people, it is still working and it's still valuable. And there's still value in doing this type of work and meeting your financial goals, right? But I think we got to remember, and I think most of us that watch this channel know this, these companies are in it to make money. So sometimes on a surface level, when something seems too good to be true, it might be because you haven't done enough time to dissect your own financial numbers, your own time, your own car depreciation, your own insurance, lack of benefits or benefits with Fresno. So interesting intakes there. We got, let me see, we got the gig guy, Trill. I see James. I see Eric all waiting. I'm going to get all you guys up in just a moment. I want to say hi to the chat real quick. Oh, look at this. Nicole's out in Cali. She says, I'm dashing right now, waiting to pick up 3 customer orders, $30, 7 miles. Hey, make that money, girl. Make that money. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So I'm going to pop this up on the screen one more time. We're talking about this company here, Fresno Logistics. Okay. They basically have a fleet contract with DoorDash because DoorDash allows that. Uber allows it. Certain catering apps allow that, right? And it's a way for these companies to have their own fleet and take the orders that DoorDash has out there, take the orders that other companies have, Amazon, right? Amazon Flex, and get these things delivered. Okay. So this company is going to make you a W-2 employee. What are the perks of that? What are the pros? What are the cons? Would you try that? That's what we're talking about on tonight's live. Let's go ahead and bring up the gig guy. The gig guy, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Give me your perspective on whether or not you would try this, the pros, the cons. What do you think about it? Did you know about this? Give us some insight.
If I wanted to be an employee, I guess I would give it a shot. But my attitude kind of changed on it between like the last 10 minutes. I just looked up this company, and so it turns out this is a freight company, and they have their own packages and stuff. They ship through sea, land, and air. And it's saying on their website here that they have something called land freight, and it says it can accommodate various types of cargo from small packages to large industrial equipment. And it says that the distance is short to medium distance. So what I think is going on here is both companies had an issue. DoorDash has problems getting out their shitty $2 orders that nobody wants to take. And this company, probably kind of like Amazon, has small packages that need to go short to medium distance that they can't really afford to throw on a tractor trailer truck and have it delivered. So I bet you these companies, what's going on here is they came together and they were like, hey, we'll take your shitty $2 order for you, but you're going to have to let us hire your drivers so that way we can get our packages out as well. And we'll pay them a little bit more money than you can, and we'll give them some benefits since our company deals with these freights pretty much, which is a lot more money in cargo than there is in McDonald's orders. So that's what it seems like this is to me. I feel like if you sign up for this company, you should expect to do more than just DoorDash orders. I think what it's going to be is you'll do some DoorDash orders here and there, but I think a lot of this is going to be small package delivery for Fresno Logistics.
Similar to like an Amazon package or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking this is, and I think this was just a mutual thing. DoorDash can get those those no tip orders out, which we all know they have a problem doing that. The no tip orders will stack up and get canceled and everything like that. So I think this is just a mutual thing between two companies. I don't know if this company is any further than California itself, so it might just be something in California. I don't know.
You know
if
what?
they'll
That's a
ship
good.
out
That's
to
a
other
good
parts.
question. I want to look. Let me open. Well, I have you here. Let me open. Let me put this back up. Let's take a look and see, because I don't think they are. Because if I go to here and go to the company, yeah, and today's deliveries all around California's Central Valley. So I feel like they're just centrally that's the area that they're doing business in. It doesn't seem like they're anywhere else.
Yeah, and they have on their website, if you go to the land freight, it says here key players in land freight, and then it has a couple bullet points, and the very first one says shippers. It says individuals or companies that need transport goods. So this is going to be basically like Curry or what's that other one?
Rhodey.
Yeah, Roadie and things
Rhodey,
like
yeah.
that. You're going to go to different companies, grab small packages. You're going to go to customers' houses, grab small packages, and then occasionally you'll do the DoorDash McDonald's order that somebody didn't leave a tip on. And I think that's how they're getting away with this. Because my very first thought was, how can they afford this? DoorDash can't afford to pay people 16 an hour plus benefits, plus paid time off, plus all this stuff. And so I was like, where's that money coming from? You know what I mean? And so that's what made me want to open up my laptop real quick while I was waiting and just do a little bit of research here. And that's what it seems like to me. This is not going to be a full out DoorDash experience if that's what you want. This is going to be going to several different warehouses and other places and, just carrying packages and occasionally picking up the McDonald's order here.
So for you, this is something that you would not try. Is that a fair statement?
The only reason why not is because I don't want to be an employee. So I would stay with the gig economy for now. Maybe later on down the road, if I want to find something a little more concrete, maybe I would give it a shot. But my only thing is using my own vehicle, things like that. I want my flexibility. I want my freedom. And $16 an hour just doesn't wow me. So for me right now,
I mean, yeah, I think for a lot of us that really value that flexibility of being able to turn it on and start when I want. Hey, you know what? Tomorrow I want to start at 9. And you wake up at 9 and say, I'll start at 10, right? Like there's a lot of value in that. Or, hey, my kid needs this, or my girl needs this, or I got to check on my mom. Like you with a schedule, it's more difficult. There's more the hoops you got to jump through to make that happen. You got to maybe call somebody, you got to call off. With the kind of work that we currently do, we don't need to do that. You just start whenever you want and you make your money and you start late. Maybe you work an extra hour at the end to make up, or maybe you don't, right? If you have a good day. But I think that flexibility is a piece that at $16 an hour, or even at the 22 to 26, man, it's got to be 40 or 45 if you're trying to get me to have a schedule. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's my thoughts exactly. I'm like, it's so hard to give up that freedom. I mean, and when somebody comes at me with $16, it's just like, come on.
That ain't it. That's not it. Yeah. The gig guy, I appreciate you doing that deep dive and looking into some of that stuff. I think there's a lot of value there. I appreciate you sharing that. And
no problem.
I appreciate you coming on tonight and waiting in the background. And have a good rest of your Sunday, man.
Hey, you too, man.
Thank you. All right. I see Trill Troy waiting, James and Eric. I'm going to get all you guys in. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me read the chat real quick. 6 keeps your arrow high. Let's see. Nathan's in the house. What's up, Nathan? My market was, let me read this comment. My market was super slow this week. Took a couple of days off and did 750 plus under 40 hours. Live to fight another day. I love that, man. Keep that positivity. My man Rick says McDonald's and In-N-Out Burger pay better than 16 an hour. You know, I'm going to leave that comment up before I bring up Trill, Troy, James, and Eric. Especially in California, we're talking about that's where this company does business, Central Valley. And even places in St. Louis. Yeah, you can flip burgers, cut sandwiches at Subway, fill up a Chipotle bowl at Chipotle, and make 16 to 20 bucks an hour doing that. Right? So I think sometimes, you know, like I just talked about with the gig guy, we talk about the freedom, flexibility, the opportunity to turn on, turn off, turn on when I want, sleep in, take the day off. There's a lot of value in that. However, we don't have the benefits. We don't have protections. We don't have a lot of things that a lot of us need that we don't think about, right? And there's logistic companies that might give you some benefits that might actually work for a lot of gig workers right now. I think a lot of us, we tend to forget this type of work that we're doing. Man, you don't have protections. You just don't. You're not protected. And when you have a W-2 and you're working at W-2 lifestyle, you do have more protections. You just do, right? These companies can get rid of you a lot easier on a DoorDash app than a McDonald's can. Like McDonald's, you got to get written up. You got to do this. You got to do that. So that guy in California working the McDonald's line, he's making 18, 19 bucks an hour. Some of them are. And he's not using his fuel. He's not depreciating his car. He doesn't even need a car. He doesn't have to have insurance. He can take the bus to work, make 18 bucks an hour, and make more money than some of us. It's a different way of looking at it, right? Let's go ahead and see if Trill Troy is ready. I think he's muted himself. Let me give him a second. Okay, he's unmuted. Trill, how you doing, man?
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How's it going tonight?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I'm doing great. So give me your perspective on being a W-2 delivery driver. Yes or no for you, and why?
So it's a hell no for me because this is a Amazon DSP company. And if anybody knows anything about Amazon DSP, they don't pay shit. They don't pay shit. So I got my CDL, right? And I remember looking for jobs, right? And one of the lowest paying jobs I seen was Amazon DSP, $22 an hour. And then I think you worked like 2 days here, 2 days there, and then the last like 2 weeks of the month, you only work for like so the first 2 weeks, right, you work 3 days, and the last 2 weeks you work 2 days. So the last 2 weeks you only made like $800 as a trucker. So I'm like, who in their right mind is gonna go through all this bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Schooling, sacrifice, because when you go to school, you sacrifice and shit, right?
Yep.
To make $800 a week. So I just look at Amazon DSP companies as that they don't pay enough. Like honestly, like I think I typed in your comment section that the national weekly average is $1,200 a week. So you mean to tell me I'm gonna make $400 under the national
less than the average?
Yeah. Like, come on now. Like,
why do you think companies like Amazon? Why do you think they get away with that? Because they're getting away with it. Amazon stock has never been higher. Like they're going to continue to grow. Everybody gets Amazon delivered, Amazon Prime. Why do you think they can do that?
They get away with it because, number one, it's hard to find a job. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to find a job. So you can easily go work at Amazon right now if you wanted to. If you got fired or you quit your job for whatever reason and you couldn't find another job, you could just go work at Amazon because they'll hire you. They'll take anybody, and then you making that. And you know what's crazy too? They saying they're gonna pay you $16 an hour to use your fuel, fuck your car up, and then the warehouse worker is making $2 more than you. My sister works at Amazon. She's making $18 an hour.
And they don't. She doesn't have to drive a car.
Yeah, she don't got to drive a car. She Ubers back and forth to work. It's like,
well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Trill. Do you think there are? Do you think these companies know that there are still a lot of people though that don't that like to sit in their car, not have a uniform, right? And listen to music, podcasts, smoke, whatever, deliver packages, even at 16 to 20 bucks an hour. Do you think companies know that there's a lot of people that still want to just do that and aren't tripping on and are fine with making $800 a week?
That is the. I mean, and honestly, to be real with you, we need people like that in the world because if everybody was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna settle for this," then nobody will be making money.
That's a
So we
fair
need
statement.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need people that's gonna settle for that 800 so we can make the money because
Sure.
people
Yeah.
like me, I'm enlightened. I know I can't make anything less than 1200 because I don't want to be below average. I
Yeah.
can't make anything less than 66K a year because I don't want to be below average. You know what I'm saying? I live
Yeah.
in Dallas. I can't make less than 60K.
No, Dallas is expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't make less than 60K in Dallas. I
No,
can't.
you
And
can't.
I'm telling these people like I had to quit a job early in the year because I'm like, bro, y'all not paying enough. You're not paying. I'm sorry. I'd rather work harder and make more money than work less and make less money and struggle. That's just how I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other guy that was on there, the gig guy, he was saying how like they like if you work for them, you're going to be delivering Amazon packages and food.
Hmm.
No, that's not the case. That's two different departments. So the LCSP, if you look on there, if you click on the tabs,
Hmm.
that is the Amazon delivery. So you make $19 an hour doing that, and it's no trucks, it's just the vans. So
I'm
it's
gonna
just
pull that up
yeah.
right now while you're talking. Go ahead.
So it's just like
LCSP, right?
yeah, so if you wanted to go get an
Job
Amazon
description.
job right now delivering packages, it'll be under a logistics company. And
Mm-hmm.
for right now, we're looking at Fresno logistics
Mm-hmm.
company, and
Mm-hmm.
they deliver Amazon packages for $19 an hour, which is you're better off doing that way than going to food world. You using their vans. You're not using your own
Mm.
vehicle. So it's already like why would I deliver food with you guys if I
Yeah,
can
look
just
at
go
this
the
one.
Amazon route?
DSP, Fresno Logistics, is an
Yeah.
Amazon delivery service partner looking for enthusiastic, blah, blah, blah. Must be available to work 10-hour shifts. Company vehicle
Yeah.
provided, no CDL required. So Fresno Logistics has different type of delivery options for their employees, is what you're saying, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Interesting,
okay, the
interesting.
positives to it, you get benefits. Okay, you get PTO. I'm a big PTO guy. Like I personally can't work at a company if there's no PTO because
Listen,
I don't know
PTO
if you
comes
know.
in clutch, man. It comes
I'm
in clutch.
telling you, man. Like
Yeah.
in the trucking world, with OTR jobs, you don't get PTO most of the time. So
Yeah.
if you can find a job as a trucker with PTO, take that motherfucker because it's
I
probably
mean, listen, who doesn't like, hey, you need a day off, 2 days,
yeah,
a weekend, you're getting paid for it, you need a week. I mean, when I
right,
was doing W-2 restaurant work as a salaried manager, I got to the point where I was getting like 4 weeks a year, right? Which, every
right,
3 months I get a week off paid. That's fantastic. Now I had to kind of work my way up to that, but that PTO life is different, man. We don't, and most of us, 99% of us doing the gig ads, we ain't got none of that. We're not taking 4 weeks off a year. We can't afford to take 4 weeks off a year if you're doing
right.
food delivery because you're not making that much anyway. So
Yeah, because you don't get paid when you take that week off. It's like when I
exactly,
watch your
exactly.
video, when I watch your video, you'll be like, I gotta make an extra 1,000 this week
Yeah,
because I'm taking off the
yeah,
next week. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
So
And I still take my time off. I go, we take a
right,
couple vacations a year. I budget for it. I plan for it because I believe as gig workers or really anybody, we shouldn't just like all work, 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 work. There's a part of the year you got to grind, but you got to have time off. You got to have something to look
right,
forward to, right? And the PTO, when you're working for a company, gives you that because now you got a vacation or 2 or 3 to look forward to, and you're getting paid when you're on a
right.
beach or when you're on your couch. But us food delivery drivers, that most of us don't have that, and it sucks. It just does because I think a lot of us just work, 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 but like we're not able to enjoy the fruits of our labor enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So
True. I
yeah,
appreciate you
I'm
dropping some knowledge on us, man. Thank you.
yes, sir.
I
All right,
appreciate it. I'm
man.
gonna bring Eric. I got Eric and James waiting up, but have a good rest of your weekend, brother. Thank you.
You too, bro.
Thank you. All right, Troy, bringing in some knowledge from a driver perspective that has done some of that kind of work. So appreciate that. Let me bring Eric up. He's been waiting a minute. Appreciate you, man. Eric, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Pedro. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm blessed. So what do you think about this logistics company having us be employees? What are the pros? What are the cons? Give me your breakdown of it.
Okay, before I start, I want to just show you guys my phone so you guys can actually see I'm in Fresno myself.
Oh, I love it. All right, Eric. This is Eric. So you've been watching the beginning. You said you're in Fresno. Okay.
Yeah. But I wanted to see everybody's opinion first before I
so-
actually gave mine.
Yes. So give us your opinion as a Fresno resident.
I will. But before I do, I want to say this. It amazes me how gullible people are nowadays. I mean, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just my thing is, and you even made a video about this particular situation before I even start on this whole Fresno logistics. You recall that there was a group of people, scammers, that would call up DoorDashers, pretend to be DoorDash support, and try to get your credentials to be
Happens
able
every day. Happens every day. It's crazy.
And if you have never driven for DoorDash in Fresno, then you don't really know. Fresno traffic could probably be pretty close to as bad as LA traffic. It's terrible. And if you drive here, you sometimes you take a $4 order that's only 2 miles down the street, that might take you 20 to 30 minutes because of traffic alone.
That's crazy. Wow.
And it is, and it happens often. So my thing is that a lot of people that are in this live, they don't know the facts about Central Valley dashing. First off, here in Central Valley, for the longest time, well, actually, I shouldn't say for the longest time, but when the new tier program came out, we were here from, I want to say, down Bakersfield up to maybe Modesto, maybe even a little bit further. Even though you're platinum, you were not able to hit that dash now button. You would actually have to schedule, and I'm sure I'm under the assumption that probably people had filled you in on that, that was happening.
Well, it changed from certain markets, depending on your marketplace, from what I understood.
Yeah.
It was different. Like you could be a 70% AR, hit all the metrics, and you were able to not have to schedule at all. But in other markets, depending on probably about how many dashers they had and the demand, you could be platinum, but you still had to schedule. So it varied depending on your marketplace. Yeah.
So here in the Central Valley, if you were even at 100% AR, 100% completion, over 7,000 deliveries, platinum all the way, you would still have to schedule. It did not allow you to hit that dash button. The only time that you could dash now here is if it turned busy. But the fact is that there's so many dashers here that, well, you see my phone. It's all gray,
It's gray.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Fresno turn busy for a consistent basis probably since the new tier program came up. That's just. Let me ask you. In your market, let's say in a 20-mile radius, do you get your zone red busy sometimes? Often, daily.
Often,
well,
daily.
Here we don't get that here. We don't.
I would say it stays red a majority of the day, whether it's
we don't
lunch,
see that.
Afternoon, dinner, late night. Yeah.
So as far as getting back to the topic, Fresno logistics. This is what I think about what happened with them, and I could be just that skeptic guy because you're asking for different perspectives on this whole topic, and I'm going to be that skeptic guy. I'm the guy that when that con artist called me and said, "Hey, I need your credentials," I said, "Fuck you." And in my head, I said that.
Yeah.
In my head, I said that. Right.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
But I laughed in my head. I said, "Fuck you," and I said, "I'm going to play a game with this guy." I pulled over. And I knew it was going to be that because it had already happened to my girlfriend. She was gullible, and she actually gave them her credentials. And I learned from that. And I even after she's doing that, I'm sitting in the car with her, and I'm telling her, "What the fuck, dude? You just gave this guy. You just gave this guy your money. But I knew when it happened to me, maybe several weeks later, I said, "Oh, I'm going to play with this guy." And sure enough, he says, "Hey, so all I'm going to need to reimburse you for that delivery because it got canceled. I'm just going to need your credentials for your Dasher Direct so we can go ahead and forward you those $250 or whatever, And I said, okay. So he said, what's your email? I said, A, B, C. And I kept on going all the way to K. I think I was up to
That's
like about
funny.
K.
That's funny.
And he said, sir, are you serious that this is your... I said, you know what I'm serious about? I'm serious about motherfuckers like you that are trying to take people's money, and it's bullshit. You need to go get yourself a real job. All of a sudden, he just turned his voice over. Fuck you. He sounded real professional in the beginning, but he turned it around, and he was
they
just
get mad when they know that we know that they're scammers. They get so mad.
Yeah, he got just so fired up. You know what I mean? Now, ever since then, I can't say ever since then because this is Killicali, so we always stay, on the up and up, But we're always looking over our shoulder and wondering, who's trying to screw us over. It's dog eat dog out here, you know what I mean? Especially when it's all gray on the map like that. But me personally, as far as Fresno logistics go, if it was legit, I would be all for it. I would say, great. You want to pay me $4, give me a $4 order that more than likely I'm going to use for that whole. You might give me a $4 order that's going to take me 20 minutes here in Fresno. After that, you might end up giving me a $3 order that's going to finish me off for the hour. But you're going to
you're going to make 26 bucks to do two things.
I'm all for it.
In a zone, in an area where you can't make any money with that app anyway.
You just can't. I would be all for it, but unfortunately for me or for them, I'm very the skeptic type. I'm thinking that, first of all, if we were to try to be, putting our mindsets as far as entrepreneurs going, let's say you, Pedro, you have 6 buddy of yours that you somehow decide, you know what? Hey guys, I have the inside scoop with DoorDash, and let's start up a business. And you know what? All we need is probably like about another 10, 20 heads besides that. But what we'll do is we'll control what orders go out, and we'll send all these people that are not part of our inner group here, the trash, the $3 order, the $4 order, the $2 order. But we're going to end up getting those ones that are good. We're going to get those ones that are the caterings. We're going to get those ones that are, 17 plus, 20 plus. That are just down the street that might even tip on top of that. That's one scenario already that I'm thinking that this Fresno logistic.
I think we lost him. Let's give him a minute to come back.
That's just one scenario. But I'm even thinking further, and I'm saying to myself, what if these people know that people are desperate to try to make money, especially as a person who's a dasher, that says, you know what, let me get this person to apply, and I'm just going to create a web page, and I'm going to say, you know what, I need your social security, I need your address, I need your driver's license number, and more importantly, I need your Dasher Direct payout so that we can literally just forward you that money.
Well, I think there's a lot of people, Eric, that are desperate, that are in that position. And I think companies.
So I think you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, I do.
Where am I going? You're a smart guy.
I think coming from where you're in Fresno, you know that area, right? You know what this logistic company is about. And I think they're just preying on the weak. Right? And I think Fresno, though, is no different than DoorDash, Uber, Instacart. They understand that, let's say, Eric, 10% of the gig workers, right, are knowledgeable and know their worth and do okay and can cipher through the bullshit, right?
Yeah.
They're betting on the 90% saying, well, the 90%, they don't know any different. So we might lose out on the 10%, but the 90% is going to make us our money. So I think these companies, these logistic companies, know the state of America and the average American, especially the majority of that come to this work because they just got fired or they're struggling and they need this as their second or third or fourth stream of income because inflation or the rent went up or whatever it is. They know that people are desperate for that extra $500 a month. Because most people that do this do it part-time, right? And they're probably making $300 to $500 a month. And they need that because of all the things I just mentioned. So I think these companies know that. And it's very sad if you think about it. You know, it's not. You know, this isn't anything new in this country. This country's been doing this for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But these companies now have gotten so big, and bold, and brazen with the way that they can take advantage. That's how I look at it.
They could. And it's very easily, because you've mentioned it on your videos quite a bit. The fact that this is easy work. This is work that a 65-year-old man can do.
Or a 16-year-old kid. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Very easy.
You know, and if they can make a schedule and it looks so appealing, because they say, you know what, I'm having a hard time even getting $12 an hour out there because the traffic's so bad, the restaurants are taking so long, you know, and I'm like me in Fresno right now, I want to say I'm averaging, I was out there the other day about 4 hours, I got 3 orders. 4 hours.
That's rough.
The good thing is that I multi-app, so I do other apps to supplement.
Right.
But DoorDash was on. I'm not even scared. You know, a lot of people say I don't like dirty stacking. I don't like multi-apping, because then you start getting that stress level because you're over here doing an Instacart, but then all of a sudden you have DoorDash order that you got to go take care of too. And then an Uber pops up. So, but me, I was able to actually leave DoorDash on the whole time that I did a 56 item Instacart order,
and nothing popped. Nothing was going on.
Still didn't pop. That's just how slow it is right now. For a minute there, DoorDash was like I mentioned, forcing you to schedule for a minute. When the tier system first came out, you would have to wait till 3 a.m. in the morning to schedule. And then shortly after that, I guess they heard the complaints and they switched to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. But at that moment, it wasn't that it was bad still, because there was still too many drivers for not enough work. But it's bad now because, and it's funny that you just released this video, because I want to say it was yesterday. They just barely yesterday, and it was all over the internet, all over the Facebook page, the Central Valley DoorDash page, and everything, that everybody and their mama was basically able to dash now. And it was like the heavens just opened up, you know? What?
People got excited.
You know? Yeah, and everybody just started getting on. Everybody just started dashing. And I said to myself, if there was already too many dashers before that had to schedule at 3 p.m., now that everyone can dash now, it's going to be.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
And sure enough, you know, I walked out of McDonald's yesterday with an order. I literally seen at least 10 dashers in the parking lot waiting to get an order after me. And I had to wait. Like I told you, I was out there for 4 hours, got 3 orders. So, you know, it's just, that's how bad it is now that the floodgates have been opened. And now I really don't think that and I would dare, if there was an employee for Fresno Logistics watching this live right now, I hope that they even make a comment and say, I work for Fresno Logistics and it is legit. And I have proof that I
You know what? I'm glad you said that. Maybe we should, I'm going to do a little more research, but I'm also going to, they got to contact us thing. I can go in there right now and type a message and send it to them. Somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to see it.
I've done a lot of research on them myself as well, assuming that they were possibly one of the reasons why the slowdown happened. Maybe they were just sucking up all the orders and giving it to their club, you know. But I looked at the president. He has a Facebook page, if you want to even look at it, you know. And I even felt tempted to contact him and say, hey, is this company really legit? I don't want to be giving my personal information just to anybody, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you're going to be an employee for a particular business, you are going to need to provide your social security number. And that's something that, you know, you want to make sure you want to be, you know, cross your T's and dot your I's before you end up giving that information out. And that's one of the other reasons I wanted to come on here live, so that if there are people that are doing that, I try to let as many people know. When that happened to my girlfriend a while back, the scenario that I talked to you about, when the scammers would call and try to yank your money out of your Dasher Direct. But I said to myself, you know what? It would be an injustice if I don't get on this live and kind of warn people who are actually thinking about applying for this Fresno Logistics company, because you just never know. There's just a lot of bad people out there.
Well, I think we just gotta, you know, as independent contractors or as a W-2, whatever you want to be or whatever you are, you got to do research and make the best decision
Yeah.
for yourself, right? And not take my opinion or my perspective as whatever, right? Or an Eric's perspective in Fresno Valley. Like, do your own research. Figure out if these opportunities are going to be good for you, worth your time. What are they really about? It's really easy to find out information on individuals, right? And companies.
I would obviously hate to hear that, you know, a company like Fresno Logistics just went all out and ended up yanking a bunch of people's social security numbers or Dasher Direct profiles to be able to log in without me saying, dang, I could have prevented that maybe by getting on Pedro's live and possibly maybe giving somebody that skeptical influence to maybe say, you know what, let me pump my brakes real quick. Let me just check in on things before I actually pull the trigger on something like this, because you just never know. There's a lot of bad people.
Well, and I want a different perspective. I wanted people's opinions, perspective, their insight on this, and we're getting varying perspectives, and I think that's good because it allows us to figure out what are we rocking with, like what makes sense to me, and then do your research and then kind of go from there, right? Because obviously, I'm glad I got somebody in Fresno because I didn't know if I'd actually get that tonight. But most of you guys that are watching or watching a replay are not in Fresno, and most of you aren't even in California. So the way you look at this is just like, hey, it's a topic, and this company's not even doing business where I do business. But we also have to realize there's other companies like Fresno Logistics where you do DoorDash, and this might be an opportunity for you, and it might come up. So at least it's a topic of conversation to get the wheels moving.
I'm by no means saying don't do it. All I'm saying is just be careful. Just do your research before you end up pulling the trigger, because you just never know. You know, there's a lot of bad people. Me personally, I haven't seen anyone out there with a Fresno Logistics hat or a shirt. Not to say that they need that or that's required of them as an employee.
Right.
I have never even seen a particular person out there that says, "Hi, I'm picking up an order for Fresno Logistics," or you know, pull up. It's always I'm picking up for DoorDash, and you know, and they have a problem showing their phone to anybody these days. Some of them don't even speak English, so the majority of them show their phone, and it's always a DoorDash screen. You know,
well, especially out where in Cali, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got in certain Cali, New York City, parts of Chicago, like, you know, you're gonna get any and everybody doing these apps, and a lot of people, English is their second language, you know. So
throw out any particular race. It's just there's a lot of one in particular here in this area that it seems like they're in the hordes. they're quite a bit. And they don't speak English, they don't speak Spanish, so you kind of, I guess, could kind of take that for what it's worth and kind of guess.
I hear you. Eric, I appreciate you waiting in the background as long as you did, sharing your Fresno Central Valley perspective. I appreciate it very much, and I'm glad you were here tonight, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, you too. All right, we got one guest left, James. James, I appreciate you for waiting. I'm going to bring you up. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I appreciate the chat for being here. You know, we didn't solve any issues that we have as gig drivers here, but I wanted to bring this to the community because I thought it was interesting. I thought it was different. I hadn't seen it. I wanted to get people's thoughts on it, right? I wanted to just spark a little bit of a conversation. We definitely did some of that tonight. And I think we're gonna see, okay, it's not that I think it's gonna happen. This is happening already. There are companies, okay, that are doing business with the bigger company, and they have fleets, and logistically they're taking these contracts and these deliveries and facilitating them to people that want to have the opportunity. So it's up to us to decide if that's going to be worth our time in your marketplace. All right, let's bring James up. James, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. You hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Awesome.
I appreciate you waiting. So give me your perspective on what you've seen tonight, what you've heard. What do you think? And let's start with that.
All right. So I agree with 99% of what most of your guests have said so far. But where I come from comes from a definition that I've held for probably 10 plus years about what is a employee. Employee is a person with one customer. That's it, one customer. And if that customer is not satisfied, you have no business. So let's say you're working for a company like DoorDash. How in the world can a third party or an outsourced company pay you better than they can directly? Doesn't sound like there's a complete, they're not being completely forward with what they're offering. But on that case, here we are. We've all bought into this as an independent contractor type deal where we're growing our own business. I left the company working there for 30 years and been building my own business for the past 2 years. I did DoorDash for a little while. All of a sudden, I started feeling like an employee with no benefits, but all the rules and all the demerits for not following along. So now,
James, let me ask you, when did you start feeling like that? What was it in your marketplace, in your time with DoorDash specifically, that you start feeling more like an employee without the benefits? What happened? What changed?
The moment that you really started getting bit by declining orders that weren't worth taking. So the moment they started declining orders that you could not afford to take for your fuel mileage or for to cover your expenses. It's no longer a business. And if they're going to give you a punishment for not following along, then you're just an undocumented employee. So you got two bags here: employee with benefits, and you got to do what they say, or an employee without benefits, but you get to make a lot more decisions. You don't get P tested. You don't get checked for all the things your normal employer does. And if you do a second job, they don't care. So here you are. You've got one customer called DoorDash, unless you gig app, and then you've got multiple employees. But now DoorDash is trying to make sure that you have 100 orders, 100 acceptance
per month,
a rolling 30-day, which is squeezing you out of your other apps, unless you don't mind being on the lowest tier of DoorDash.
Right.
So I got rid of DoorDash. I've also gotten out of the others, running my own business. But that's just it. If you want to be an independent contractor, make sure you don't have one customer. Make sure you actually have multiple customers. That's
a good way. I think that's an interesting way of looking at it. I think with this Fresno logistics, you're obviously a W-2 because that's what they're telling you are, and you have to have a schedule. And you might get some benefits and the PTO, and for some people that's really great, but you're not independent in any way. And
right now
you're only giving yourself one opportunity with one company.
Right now, your average teenager with a push mower can run up and down like the neighborhood, get 10 customers, and if one customer's not satisfied, he's got 9 left. Just go find another one.
Yeah, and that kid, because I used to mow lawns when I was a kid, can make more money than most DoorDash drivers.
Even today.
And have less expenses.
Right. There's some IRS issues there, obviously, but the other thing, I've got a DoorDasher in my area right now, and I'm going to say probably about a few years ago, this wouldn't be true, but it is now. This guy blew the engine on his car, and this is the first time I have seen him have to ride a bicycle to deliver. And he's still delivering. I know his AR is taking a hit because there's no way
has to be. He can't take everything. No.
But this is the first time I've seen him not be able to go and pick up a car and keep going, even if it was a run. And I'm going, that's a big change there. There's not enough income available there. I'm a preference this in smaller markets. I'm currently in a small town, but even he was doing good enough that he could roll up to and go get him another car pretty quick. Not true anymore. And one of the things your other guest said, crowding. Hell, if that's really to put a damper on around here. Used to, we could drive on over to say like Wichita, Kansas. It's a pretty good sized market, and there's some smaller markets around that do good. That don't exist anymore because we got people coming from other areas just to come get their AR up.
Yep. And I think that's the migration, and I use that word in the truest sense, the migration of how dashers can go from wherever, maybe even drive an hour from home to be in a better marketplace, but then oversaturate that marketplace because James and Pedro used to work there, and now we've got these other 20 dashers, and You add 20 dashers in the zone, that makes an impact, especially in a city if it's not very big, right?
Just to make a hard point, the beginning of this year, that's when I started driving for DoorDash, and I was driving a 2006 Ram 2500 5.9.
Ooh, oh boy.
And I could still turn a profit.
It wasn't
okay, much, but I could. And so I pulled other apps in. I did Roadie. I did Instacart. I did some Amazon Flex.
In that same vehicle, in the same Dodge. Yeah.
And I could pull it off, but I had to work it. That's squeezed out. That's choked out. It's gone.
Yeah.
You can't get the returns on deliveries anymore that you used to.
Well, let me ask you this, James, in closing here. So when we have these companies like Fresno Logistics and other logistic companies that are offering employee options, okay? Do we need more of them so that some of the drivers that have saturated the markets and made it harder for us to make money, do we need them to go to those companies so that it could be a little more normalized for us? Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying with that?
I hear somewhat what you're saying, and I'm going to add to that with this. There are a lot of people out of full-time jobs that are trying to DoorDash and gig app to try to get some of that money back. For them, this is not their work. This is not their gig. This is not how they are conditioned to earn money.
Good point.
They need to be an employee. They're only going to be an employee, and they want to be an employee.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for that individual who's out here driving around trying to deliver for apps, that this is not what they want to do. They want to be an in-house on the payroll. That's their job. So this is going to be good for them. As long as the company can keep the work up and keep them on the schedule.
Right.
But if they can't keep them on the schedule, then they can't afford to pay them. They'll just turn them back out to the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way business works. If you can't afford the person, you have to let somebody go.
You have to. And I think some people even think we've seen these deactivations on DoorDash, Walmart Spark, whether they're right or not. I think there's something to be said for corporations looking at it like, hey, we got too many drivers. You know what I mean? Like, we got to do something about it, because W-2s do that. I worked at restaurants. Like, there's been times, we've had to cut labor. You got to cut hours, and it's always a hard decision because you understand in cutting somebody's pay, you're really impacting their livelihood, right?
Absolutely.
And and these companies are no different. And even in the gig work world, in the independent contractor world, they care less about us than the employers do, because we're just a number. We don't even have a relationship with these gig companies at all. So
every driver out there is the closest available driver when they're the closest available driver.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
and that's all you are, is the closest available driver.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. James, I appreciate your candor tonight, man. I appreciate you waiting as long as you did. And dropping some insight on us, and have a good rest of your Sunday night, man. I don't know what you're East Coast, West Coast. I think you're Central Time, probably, right?
Yeah, I'm in Kansas.
You're in Kansas. Okay.
Hey, Drew, I really appreciate the time talking with you and listening to your guest. It was great. I enjoyed it. A lot of information there.
I appreciate it.
Really love the opportunity to talk to you personally on the private. Yeah, so
I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate you coming on. You can definitely email me and we can chat it up. So I appreciate it, James. Thank you, man.
All right.
Thank you. Sir. All right, James. I think I got my man Cliff Dog in the house. Hold up. Is that Cliff Dog? Let me add my man Cliff. What's up, brother?
What's good, bro?
What's good, man? How was your day today, man? Tell me about your day, bro. Tell me about your day.
It was kind of slack today, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't popping off like it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday you had a good day. I know you sent me some of your info on yesterday.
Yeah, man. If you provide good customer service to these people, man, they'll look out for you. They'll definitely.
You know what, Cliff? Let's talk about that a little bit, because you sent me some texts and we spoke a little bit. Was that yesterday or today? I can't.
It was yesterday.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's go a little off topic if you don't mind. Talk to me about what you've been seeing, what you saw yesterday, the customer service side of it. let's give the people some of that knowledge real quick, if you don't mind.
Okay, so yesterday, all right, so at the beginning of the month and the middle of the month, I think is the best time to dash, right? So being Saturday, I had, I hadn't been on DoorDash in 2 years up until about a couple months ago.
You got your account back a couple months ago.
Yeah. So, there was a lot of changes I had to deal with or whatever with that and figure out everything. But yeah, it's not the same as it used to be. So, but yesterday kind of reminded me of how it was whenever, we started doing this, years ago, back in 2020 when most of us started doing it. But, back then we didn't have this add-on tip afterwards or a lot of this stuff like the tier program. Like I still don't think that's really the tier program. I don't really find anything beneficial to it, to be honest with you. I still do things the way I'm gonna do them. It works out sometimes it don't work out. Sometimes I might not get nothing for hours on end, but the way that I'm doing it though, like I still work though. I still work at W2, you know what I mean? I've been there for a little over 2.5 years now, so I'm not doing it full time and trying to make that my main source of income. So it's just to really just like, I'm doing it to, like, my daughter's birthday was Friday, so I was making sure I had the money for all that stuff, taking care of that, make sure I had a little bit of leeway whenever I got to pay my bills next week. But all right, so with the add-on after chips. So yesterday, I don't know, I was in a good mood yesterday. Had a good weekend with my daughter and everything. So I do a lot of shopping pays. And a lot of like CVS, Walgreens, that's mostly what I get or whatever. So they didn't have a drink the customer wanted. And I used the Panera Panera Bread drink club thing where you get free drinks, get them
the
every
monthly
2 hours
club.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got everything that the customer wanted, and they didn't have any replacement. I asked them, they didn't have, whatever other drink they had, so they just want to refund it. So what I ended up doing before I went and dropped it off, I went and got a free drink from there, the drink that she wanted a Pepsi. So I just went over there, didn't say nothing. I went over there, got it, and when I dropped it off, I just left it there and went on my way. And about 5 minutes later, she texted me saying, "Oh, thank you so much, this, that, and the other." And the next thing I know, I got that little text message and that little, notification, extra $10.
Man, Cliff, I gotta tell you, bro, that's above and beyond, right?
Yeah.
For you to go out of your way and substitute an item that you couldn't get at CVS, I think you said, and you use your Sip Club reward or whatever. I mean, that's she should have gave you that 10. I'm glad she did because you deserve that shit.
It saved. She said I talked to her for a little bit afterwards. She said it saved her husband was going to go up to the store. He didn't feel like going to the store or whatever.
Yeah.
So it saved him a trip, and he insisted on giving me that 10.
That's crazy. I mean, that's super grateful of them. I mean, $10 is. I mean, that's you can get. That's amazing, man.
I'm telling you, man. Like if you go an extra step, people appreciate stuff like that. Being considerate and just going out your way to do things a certain way, or even just following their instructions. Like that one I sent you. I'm assuming this guy, he works at the post office, and when I used to deliver there years ago, they want you to come to the loading dock. That's where they can come out easiest because the front's locked. You can't come in through the front, so they want you to come to the back. Because they got to go all the way through the front, try to meet you out there. So what I did is I knew where it was located. So I'm assuming this person that gave me this 20 afterwards never had nobody come back there because he didn't reply back to me. I told him I appreciate that you did that or whatever. But I lost track. Hold on a second. So I called him up, got back there, dropped him off. About, I don't know, it's like I was on another order whenever I got it. I was on another it was from Taco Bell. Now at first I was like, well, usually the I was on the Taco Bell order, and I was like, well, usually they don't show that extra tip till after you drop it off. And I was like, oh, that's right, I just dropped one off. And I looked at it, and he had dropped another 20, and after he had already dropped $8 on the tip from
That's
the
crazy,
previous thing.
That's crazy.
Then maybe a month ago, this officer, we got a thing called Crown Coliseum over here. It's like a little, you know, little stadium type deal, whatever, where we have their concerts and stuff. I guess
Cliff,
it's
remind the people where you're at again, man.
Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay, thank you.
No. So I guess this officer, he told me while I was talking to him after I dropped, he got some pizza. He had three people go through this, go through to try to pick this order up or whatever. And I think they picked it up, or maybe they didn't. I'm not really sure, but he just said they went through three people and they couldn't find the place. So he'd already told me he was going to give me an extra tip, and I told him that's not necessary, but you know what I mean. I appreciate it. And
yeah,
it was another one. He gave me another $20.
It's crazy, man. You had a good that was a couple months ago, but you had a good day Saturday, which is awesome, man. I mean, so are you back to the W-2 tomorrow? Do you work is it a Monday through Friday kind of deal for you, and you do the gig apps on the weekends, or what?
Well, I do them in between. Like, all right, so tomorrow I work 4 to 1, so 4 a.m. to 1, so I got to be at work in about 3.5 hours. But so it's, I work at Publix, so it's, Monday through Sunday thing. So it's pretty much my schedule just, all over the place, really.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
So I'll get off at 1 tomorrow, and I schedule everything out throughout the week. Even if I'm not going to work that schedule, I'll schedule everything out.
You got it just in case you want to, or something pops up. Yeah.
So tomorrow I've got it scheduled I try to do it in 2.5 hour increments.
Mm-hmm.
That way, because what I found out with the app. All right, so you know how it goes gray. Like it might say busy, then it just all of a sudden just goes gray.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain times right before the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour that it will completely go gray. So 5 to 10 minutes before the bottom or the top of the hour or after the hour, it'll be gray. But if you go back on there after all right, say it's 12 o'clock right now, you go on there, it's gray. You go on there about 10 minutes later, it'll show that it's busy again.
Yeah. Love it. Little tricks of the trade in North Carolina. Did you have anything you wanted to add? I know I just hit you with hey, tell me about the guest service.
That's kind of what I wanted to talk about. That's why I wait late to come on anyway. But
Okay, good. I figured as much because you had mentioned you were going to do something on your channel and maybe this. I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to do it today. But really, I just wanted to come on here. I ain't been on here in a while, bro. I got love for you, bro. I appreciate you. You doing a lot. You did a lot for me. You know what you did for me back in the day. So I'm always gonna have love for you, man. Damn. Don't let these people, man. Don't let these people get to you, though. I think you probably read a lot of the comments I probably put on the last 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fuck these people, man. Do what you got to do for your family. None of these people are going to affect what you got to do for your family, your daughters, your wife, your father, your mother, whoever else you have in your circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see the shit that gets wrote, and I sit there and I'll defend you on the shit. I'm sure that nobody ever writes me back though, but just, you know what I mean, man. If you're going back to DoorDash, good. Do what's best for you. Do what you got to do to elevate yourself into the next chapter of your life. Even if you think it might be a step back or anything, bro. Like it's really not. You're still making some kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing stuff to benefit yourself. And everybody has, like, this is something I do want to say. Everybody has a bad moment in life. You don't know what people are going through in life. That little, that stuff you had going on with the customers whenever all that stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
you could have had something going on in your life, and that little bit thing right there, and another thing that you're putting yourself out there on video every day.
Yep.
So you're gonna get criticized, and the thing is, everybody goes through shit like that in life. You're going through something, and then it could be it might be the simplest little thing that triggers something, and it might just set you off. It happens to me all the time, bro.
You're so right, bro. And for me, I put my shit out there public.
Yeah,
Whereas,
that's what I'm saying.
but no, listen, I've had things, Cliff, going on in the back scenes that I don't really share.
Yeah.
That's some heavy things, right? And I think you're really spot on when you can have something happen to you, and it's not that what's happening, but it's that triggers other things you got going on. So you deliver in a no tip, and it's like, and it just kind of snowballs. And because I'm a flawed man, Cliff. I'm a flawed man, right? And you sometimes let those things get the better of you, and you ride and lead with emotion when you don't necessarily have to. But because you got other things going on, it just kind of takes over. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you saying that, because, I definitely know that that's what's been happening with me a little bit. And sometimes you got to take pause and just reflect and realize, hey, yeah, I'm on YouTube, but at the end of the day, them two girls upstairs, bro, and my daughter that lives, hours away, I'll do anything for them. So if that means swallowing my pride as a man, that means swallowing my pride as a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're damn right.
So that's some real shit, man. I appreciate you, brother. We got to tap in even more. I'm so happy you came on tonight, and I'm happy that you got back on and you're able to dash your daughter's birthday. I think you mentioned like getting that extra cash flow. That's what's up with these apps. That's the good thing about it, is you can use it when you want to make it work for you and your financial goals or whatever you got going on, right? And I'm so happy for you with that, man. I appreciate you, brother. And this is a good way to end the show. I'm not going to bring anybody else up, and I'm glad you came on tonight, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has been a minute, man. Stay up. Have a good week at work, man.
All right, you too, bro.
All right, man. That's my man, Cliff Dog. Cliff Dog has been rocking with me since the beginning, basically. And he texted me about some DoorDash stuff from time to time. But, it had been a minute, but he's back on it. He had a good day yesterday. So I just wanted to hear his perspective on that. Forget the Fresno logistics, so I'm really happy Cliff Dog came up. Slavic. I mean, I hadn't seen Slavic in a minute. I don't know about y'all. I had fun tonight. I'm not even going to lie about it. This company, Fresno Logistics, think what you want, do your research. If other companies pop up, do your research. I think it could be beneficial for some, not beneficial for others. It's all dependent upon how you look at the gig apps, what market you're in. Are you having success? Because I've always been very clear on one thing, okay? If you're having success in meeting your financial goals and your time goals in the gig economy, you don't got to change shit. If you're in St. Louis and you're doing well, forget the AR, forget the whatever. If you're in Florida and you got 4 apps, you work those 4 apps, you don't need to do the tiers. You don't need to, don't do it. But if you're not having success and you're finding it harder to make the same dollar, hey, you got to change something up. You got to try something different. That might be going to a W-2, being a W-2 delivery driver, going back to a W-2, trying the apps differently, trying another app. You as an independent contractor, as a free thinking American, have got to be willing to adapt situationally when you need to. You also have to swallow that pride and ego sometimes. And listen, my pride and ego has been big at certain points in my life. I am not going to lie to y'all. Okay. My biggest strength is my biggest weakness. I've known that. I'm very self-aware, and I've always said that. I've said that probably 100 times on this channel, that I believe us as human beings, most people, your biggest strength is also your biggest weakness. And I know that about myself. So in closing, the whole, W-2, earn by time, these companies doing this, these companies doing that, dashers and drivers struggling to make money. You got to do what's best for you and yours. I will always do what's best for this YouTube channel means a lot to me. Okay. Monetarily, it means a lot to me. from the community base point and standpoint, getting to know you guys, having relationships with people off of YouTube that I've met on YouTube, it means a lot to me. It gives me a reason. You guys give me a reason to make content. When I wasn't monetized, I was still making the content every single day. So for anybody that thinks, oh, he's only doing it for money, you don't know me. Okay? This channel, what I do, serves a bigger purpose, long-term and even in the moment. So if I decide to do DoorDash again, if I don't decide, ultimately, it's my decision. And anybody sitting around that's a viewer or a fellow content creator that has any issue with what another man does to make a living, that says more about you than it does about me. All the people that are obsessed about what I do on a daily basis, waiting for my video to drop, to have a comment, to leave a snarky comment, to make their own video, I thank you very much for all the attention and all the, I'm humbled by that. I will continue to make content that you guys like, that you don't like, that you agree with, that you rock with, that you listen to, that you don't watch. I'm going to continue to do that, whether it's DoorDash content, Walmart, Curry, Deliver That, Spark. Well, I'm not doing Curry anymore, but you get my drift. And also, we as human beings can change our mind. We can look at things and have a different perspective. I can have a conversation with my father, my girl. I could have a moment with my daughter and say, you know what? Hold up. Maybe I was wrong about that thing I did a couple of months ago, that video I made, what I said about this. Maybe I was wrong. Having self-awareness is very important in life. I appreciate all the panelists. I think we had probably 10, 12 people come up today. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate you in the chat having your own conversations about things and helping one another. We got to everybody that came up. I appreciate you guys very much. I hope you had a great week. I hope you're going to have a great week going into tomorrow, right? The week's done for most of us. Maybe some of you guys are hustling. Be safe. Like I always say on the end of these lives, if you're around somebody that you love, that somebody that loves you, your kid, your mom, your dad, whoever it is, if you're listening to this in your earpods at work and you got a coworker that you're really close with, listen. Tell them that you love them. Give them a hug. A hug could change somebody's day. A hug can change somebody's day. If you're in your basement like I am, and if I go upstairs, I know Ruby's sleeping, but Madison, it's a coin flip, 50-50 whether or not she's up. You best believe if she's up, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to tell her I love her. Tomorrow's not promised. Gig work is not always fun. Make the best of it. Make the money. Make good decisions. But treat the people around you well. I'll see you guys next Sunday. I appreciate everybody tonight. Thank you.